Greetings, fellow Toriyama fans. Blue Dragon 5 here,
And Jacob Weil.
to pay tribute to the master of manga, Akira Toriyama, and celebrate 40 years of Dragon Ball. Proper, we're going through the animated saga that is Dragon Ball Z, to get back in touch with our anime roots as we begin our journey into Dragon Ball Z.
Previously on Journey into Dragon Ball Z, Dragon and Jacob watched as Trunks, a half Saiyan boy from the future, warned our heroes of Dr. Gero and the upcoming android threat. Everyone trained hard, but proved to be no match for the mechanized menace, especially Goku, the victim of a devastating heart virus. However, unbeknownst to Trunks, something has followed him back from the future. A mysterious creation that absorbs the life force of everything in his path. Does the Earth stand a chance? Or is everyone doomed? Find out in the Cell Saga.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, bringing back the gong for this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dragon, we're doing a pretty big one this time.
Oh, yeah.
The Cell Saga.
Massive.
Though not as massive as the Frieza Saga.
Well, yeah.
Like, I think it's like 20 episodes shorter than Frieza.
Well, approximately, yeah.
So it's definitely more economically paced.
Yeah.
The Dragon, why don't you start us off?
So, like I kind of said with the Android Saga, which, very often, ultimately the Android Saga and the Cell Saga are kind of one giant arc if you pair them together. Because Cell is one of those things where Cell technically kind of breaks down to, debatably three to at least, kind of two chunks of an arc itself. And then you have the Android Saga, you have definitely kind of a 3-act structure going on there. Regardless, like the Android Saga for me, that was kind of my foray into the manga side of Dragon Ball Z, in terms of just kind of. I don't know exactly how clean cut this was, but I want to say the way it was is I had the Dragon Ball anime, the original core, Dragon Ball series. And basically while I was exploring that, I was getting into, kind of Dragon Ball in comic form, which of course was the manga, but I don't know if it was before I hit on the actual, volumes of the manga. I had Shonen Jump, which kind of had Dragon Ball in it, which is kind of one of the early forays in the Dragon Ball Z in manga form for me. Now, whether that came before the Dragon Ball manga itself, it's unclear. I know technically, the Z is just kind of added for the anime, but you take my point though. Just the later years, the Dragon Ball Beyond, however you want to label it.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, so the Shonen, Shonen era, which of course, Shonen Jump was basically kind of a grab bag of manga, and it's pretty much like you could buy the big, giant, thick volume of Shonen Jump, and essentially you have like almost like a sampling platter of like chapters from mangas across the board. It was almost like the Sunday comics, but for manga.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that is how a lot of mangas are done in Japan. Like they're serialized in magazines.
Well, I mean, I guess so too. I'm saying on kind of like it's my youth side, my youthful experience on the Shonen Jump. It was pretty much like, what is this? This is amazing. This is like the most epic catalog you could ever receive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would have loved to. If I was into anime back then, I probably would have loved something like that.
Yeah, because that was honestly my foray into. You had Dragon Ball Z, and you had a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, and also a bit of. The Yu Yu Hakusho, which, of course, those three became very big animes for me as well.
The funny thing is, I've actually been rewatching clips from the old Pokemon anime, and I've realized like just how like almost like half of that anime was just like the characters roasting each other.
Pretty much.
But as you were saying,
anyway, So the point being, it's always nostalgia. Every time, kind of the Android Saga, like that tipping point where it bled over, like right at the tail end of the Android Saga, right into the Cell Saga. That's where my jumping point was, really into kind of Dragon Ball Z in print form, and which of course ultimately, eventually when I got caught up, by the anime, it's where everything was kind of like, got cyclical. I'm like, oh yeah, that's of course one feeds into the other, and vice versa.
Now, did,
Um,
now, did you actually read it before you watched it? Unlike the
Well,
rest.
again, because I was doing it like the Shonen Jump style, unless you like had enough money or like an actual subscription, you couldn't really get like every installment of the story. You just kind of dipped in here and there. So eventually, when I watched through and I got the DVD volumes like sporadically, like I said, my experience on Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was kind of like, it was very spread out, very various different forms of media, and like DVDs, VHSs, watching, like taping it when it aired on Toonami, and then there's the manga, and just kind of go backtracking, and it's like doing a lot. Before the advent of just like the full series, DVDs, or just kind of like seeing it here and there, just watching it like when they actually aired like marathons on Toonami. It was it was kind of it's got a patchwork of everything. It's kind of making a quilt of nostalgia in a sense for binging through the story that was Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, which of course, years later, I can do a lot more easily now, or at least for Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z is a little more of a sticky wicket in terms of getting like a proper thing of it, unless someone has a Crunchyroll subscription, but you get the idea.
Like yours truly.
Yeah, which again, I can't say with autonomy if it like, I don't know if you got like the best version or not. I don't, because basically I want to say the best way you're going to get it, the way you experienced it, is like if you have those individual DVD sets, or possibly what Crunchyroll has might be the same thing, but I'm not sure. Anywho, sorry, I'm
I mean, no, go on. Sorry.
getting off base here. My point being, the story itself, the Cell Saga, is a very big payoff arc to the Android, to the Android Saga, but also just in kind of the narrative of Dragon Ball Z in total. Because this is debatably, as many people would kind of hold true, debatably this was the end to Dragon Ball Z. At the very least, this is the end to Goku's story in Dragon Ball Z, and of course, Goku being our big touchstone characters. That's one of the reasons like the Cell Saga is like the story, the saga, the story in Dragon Ball Z. It kind of has, ultimately, when you look at the Cell Saga, and looking back on for our purposes here, it kind of occurs to me that the Cell Saga, I think, plays so well because it has what the Frieza Saga lacks for me. My disconnect with the Frieza saga is, of all the arcs, of all the sagas, it's the only saga where we're not remotely on Earth at all. And we have that here. We have a Frieza level threat crossed with, kind of what I grew up with, with Dragon Ball. You have kind of the Demon King Piccolo era of Dragon Ball villain, like a guy who's lording over with his strength. He's unstoppable. The world's in a panic. We have a lot of kind of characters from that Demon King Piccolo era who kind of pop up here in our fillery stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, so because of that, I mean, that coupled with just kind of like maybe kind of like Frieza with more of an earthbound, just kind of like recognizing the threat, and just kind of it's feeling more in the classic wheelhouse. I think a lot of that is intentional, and that if we are closing the loop on the Goku story, there are a lot of full circle moments in that character's life in this saga. And that, coupled with all the really cool visuals and just the memorability of Cell himself and just the character progression, I think this has always been a very strong chapter for that story, and I think it really holds up.
Oh yeah, like obviously the. I kind of alluded to this last time, but I remember watching the Toonami advert for Dragon Ball Z when this saga was airing. And I believe one of the things I either saw, it was either an episode I saw or one of the adverts, was Cell melting the guy, the rich guy.
Yeah, well, no, well, it basically sucks the
Absorbing,
guy up.
yes, absorbing him, but it was my brain, it was my childhood brain telling me this. Showing me like, oh, the guy's being melted. So yeah, so that image stuck with me for many years because it's like one of the most probably one of the most terrifying things that anime's ever done.
Rich man with the power to melt.
Yes. I don't know. I'm overselling the terrifyingness, but it is pretty creepy, especially for this series.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I even alluded to it last time that Cell is pretty much the closest thing that this series has is to a horror villain.
Oh, without question, he's very very Robert Englund esque.
You could probably argue Demon King Piccolo kind of came close too, but
Yeah.
even then even then he was like more over the top and jovial than Cell is.
Yeah.
So if that makes sense.
I mean, the cool thing about Cell too, you got to remember is Cell is the because of what he is and what he's made up of, he has elements of like all the great Dragon Ball Z characters.
Yep.
So he's like the ultimate grab leg and like a dark inflection of all those characters.
And the thing is, they keep forgetting about one very important aspect of the cells he has.
Yeah, it does get a little silly. Okay, come on, guys, really, you haven't put that together yet.
Yep, it's like it happens multiple times.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But even then, I still really enjoyed this as well. It features a lot of character growth on all sides. Like we had to see like Goku, obviously Gohan as well, Piccolo, Vegeta, all the major characters here grow. And even Cell grows.
yeah. Not as much as in Superhero, but yeah, he does.
Yep. And you're bringing it back Frieza comparison. He's another villain to change his form.
Mm-hmm. At least this time, it's a little more like it's more of an evolution than it is like
It's like he's like unlocking his power.
Yeah.
So, so here, yeah. Overall, I also really enjoyed this, and I believe this is like where the original version of Kai ended before they continued it.
That is correct. Yeah, that's how that broke down. Because again, they went so again, Kai's whole thing is they're trying to stick as close to the manga as possible, and basically the way it worked is Akira Toriyama, his planned ending was, which is why it's debated. Like Toriyama's original plan was like, okay, this is the end of the story. But then the outcry and the demand, and just like, okay, maybe it's not the end.
Like I'm not sure. I hear conflicting things about like, oh, he wanted to end it here, oh, he wanted to end it here. But
At the very least, he wanted to end Goku's story there. I think there's a question of like, did he want to press on a little? The stuff that happened that we're going to be talking about in the next saga. I forget entirely if Toriyama did want to genuinely explore that, and then obviously when we got to a certain point, it's like, okay, we need to bring back the cash cow.
So yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Regardless, though, there was finality to this, and that's kind of why it ends the way it ends. At least it was like a temporary finality on purpose. So
Yeah. I still really enjoyed this. As like kind of it was suitably epic and a lot of neat moments. There are even some funny ones here and there.
Oh yeah.
And Zell was like one of those like villains that you just love and kind of just love to hate,
Oh, for sure. I mean, Cell is such a mean man. He really is. He's a dastardly bug. That's Cell.
And I would say that it features this saga features some of the best voice acting in the entire English dub.
Oh yeah.
And impressive that the one voice. We got to give props to Cell's actor himself, Damian Clark.
Yeah.
Like he did like different voices for each Cell, and that was like it's kind of hard to tell, but he's like genuinely terrifying as all of them.
So that is Damian Clark as all three versions of Cell. I'm not crazy, right? So that is him.
Yep. From what I understand, it's also all three versions. The same character, the same person voices all three in Japanese as well. But I think he uses a more similar voice, whereas like Damian Clark does something different each time.
That's such a great idea.
Yep.
Because I honestly, as a kid, and still honestly to this day, it was so good, so convincing. It really does feel like three actors. I keep having to remind myself that it's one guy. Like you think it might be one guy, and there's like, I don't know. They sound like night and day. All three of them. It's just really good.
Well, that tells you how talented of a
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was that good. It still holds up. It was that good.
Yep. Did I ever send you that video where somebody swapped cells?
Yeah, no, did the whole plankton thing. The I went to
To
college.
college.
Yeah.
Yep. Like when he's like pointing to something. I went to college.
Perfect Cell does bear some vocal similarities to Doug Lawrence, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Kind of. I mean, it fits. I mean, it fits too.
Yeah.
But either way, like I said, in other words, I'll just end it here. I enjoyed it. Have some minor issues, but nothing to really derail it too much.
You know, it would be hilarious if Cell said, "Yoo-hoo, Sponge Buddy," and he
Uh,
directed it to Krillin.
well, and then, well, I spoiler alert. I did watch a little bit into the next saga, and he does say, "Well, this stinks."
Yeah, it does.
we did get Cell to say that,
Yeah.
which is a which I which I'm guessing is not a shout out to Plankton, but
Oh, it's just coincidence.
yeah. But anyway, let's start it.
All right, so basically, going between the Android Saga and this, we had Kami sent something so terrifying, so horrible for humanity. His hesitations on doing the perma fusion with Piccolo went completely away because okay, this warrants it. Does the fusion then and there, and there's build up to Cell already, and we had a build up, and like there's this insect like thing, like we see like this giant cicada shell, like skin,
The shadow tromping around
exoskeleton.
the shadow, then lurking around the city.
Yep, and then basically that leads to our terrifying old west reveal of like Piccolo's in like a ghost town, and out from the shadows emerges this terrifying bug-like monster, and with this giant like here you know ultimately what I think. Here's why I think Cell is so terrifying. He resonates so well years later.
Yeah.
It's the any kid who ever watched Dragon Ball Z. It's like the perennial fear of needles with a character who has like a syringe for a tail,
Like, well, Goku.
or like a stinger slash a syringe. And it's like Goku was lucky enough he didn't really have to contend with Cell when he had a tail.
Yeah, Goku, because Goku's afraid of needles.
I know, which would have been hilarious, but
And it is kind of the funny thing is now that I think about it, it is kind of appropriate that we're doing this around Thanksgiving because Goku was just in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
yeah, I saw that.
So,
Unfortunately, the wind was not on his side, but yes, it was great.
what some representation there, right?
Yeah, I mean, they update the balloons too. Buzz Lightyear got a new balloon.
Yeah,
Yep, Spider Man.
the classics.
Anyway, the point being, but Goku Welcome Edition.
Yep.
40 years, he's about time to get a new balloon. Better than the previous ones he's had too. The previous ones they gave him like it was the super one with like the Super Saiyan blue hair, just terrible.
And did they revert him back to like the classic black hair?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like classic Goku. It was the way he's supposed to look. It was like he was. I think it was like from. Honestly, it might have been from the Cell Saga too. Might have been at the very least. Sorry, scratch that. Not the Cell Saga. It was the one from the. I guess specifically probably Frieza Saga because he had like the Enlightenment symbol on the back, and he still this Goku doesn't have any symbols on him. He's growing past the symbols.
Oh, all right. Like he doesn't
That's how you can kind of tell.
He doesn't have the symbol of King Kai on him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, King Kai was in the Saiyan Saga, and then afterwards, that's the thing. There's a progression. If you ever look carefully, the symbols change. Oh, I know you know this, but I'm just saying for anyone watching. But yeah, there's like a progression with the symbols. You have the turtle symbol on the back, King Kai's symbol, and then basically there's a symbol of enlightenment, and then there's no symbol.
All right.
And then there's like Beerus's symbol that's like in Super, and we don't really care about that right now.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Well, eventually, maybe. Who knows? I heard it's continuing soon.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out how that goes.
Okay, the point being, Cell is terrifying, and he shows up, and is just this.
Definitely living up to a horror movie villain vibes.
What's great about Cell's introduction is that he's like the variable no one saw coming in this whole prognostication of the future that Trunks brought them and armed them with. And of course, because of the whole altered timeline, again, because of Cell, ultimately, things have not been going right. We see the cause of it all just show up. And it's just all of this just factors very well into the story. He uses his creepy injector tail to he's used it to drain all of Ginger Town. And we demonstrate very vividly on the chubby rich man who's trying to buy Piccolo's protection.
Yep. And Piccolo just stands by and does nothing as he gets absorbed.
Yeah, well, Piccolo, yeah, you're right. Stands, but he's kind of terrified by it. He knew the guy was kind of a goner at this point anyway.
Yep. So I was like, we compared the androids coming back from the future to like the Terminator, right?
Oh yeah.
So what would you have Cell's analog be?
Well, I mean, you could make the argument he's. Well, let's think. If they're Terminators, he's honestly he feels very John Carpenter like the Thing. Like John Carpenter's the Thing.
Minus the
Well, it's kind of a combination of he's very David. I get he's kind of like the Fly meets the Thing, kind of, because he transforms, but he's very much kind of a giant insect kind of thing. So it's a little bit of the Fly, little Cronenberg, little Carpenter.
I mean, technically, Cell is technically considered like an android, like a bio android.
Yeah, that's the thing. So he is a. I was about to get into his backstory, but yeah, you're right though. He's a bio android.
And the thing is, like as we probably discussed last time, it's like in Japan they're not called androids; they're called artificial humans.
Yeah.
And so technically, Cell isn't a robot. So who knows? It's androids probably sounds better anyway.
It does.
But yeah, but the first encounter between Piccolo and Cell, at this point he's not even going by Piccolo anymore, is he?
No, he is. It's I mean, the Goku thinks it's Kami Piccolo, but it's just Piccolo.
Yeah, but the first encounter between it is suitably terrifying, especially when Cell reveals that he has the moves of the various fighters.
Yeah. So ultimately, I guess long story short here. So Piccolo tricks Cell after getting his arm injected, which is always a creepy thing to exceed. Like Piccolo's arm just become deflated and everything.
And then Cell reveals his backstory.
Yeah, so basically Piccolo's trick Cell into monologuing. He's monologuing.
You sly dog!
So
you got me monologuing.
So he got him to monologue his origin, which essentially is Dr. Gero had a pet project to build basically frustrated with the androids. He was trying to build the perfect fighter using a bio android, which is made from these cells, basically harvested the same way he harvested the data for the androids. Only this one actually collected cells and like a little adorable cell bot, which I love. It looks just like Cell as a little bug that's sampling all the cells.
Yep, and he's like from like Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo,
Frieza,
Krillin, Frieza, King
Cole.
Yep. So, but remember, he stopped collecting data after they went to space.
That's right.
So
anyway, so he's made from the cells of the strongest warriors he could find, and the computer completed it after Gero's demise. So the computer is, like Gero basically had an artificial intelligence of himself. Finished the program, which took into the future. And basically, as Trunks was returning to with good news that the androids were destroyed, Cell killed Trunks and took the time machine. Then he basically reverted himself to an egg, so he could. I love the practicality. Like Cell couldn't fit in the time machine. He had to revert, regrow himself, which is why it took 4 years.
Yep, he was hiding there the entire time.
So basically, he had to hatch and kind of evolve back into imperfect Cell in 4 years, and he basically got his energy by draining all of Ginger Town. And his goal to achieve perfection is to absorb androids 17 and 18, which basically would give him the perfect elements he needs, so he can, basically would never have to tire or be without energy. It's like the strength of these two unbeatable androids combined with this guy and this leech of a monster, and be completely unstoppable.
He's kind of like the Blob too, in a way.
I mean, I don't know about the Blob.
Well, in the way that he had the absorption.
More like the parasite from Superman, if anything.
Well, that works too. Who knows what Toriyama drew inspiration from here?
Yeah.
Either way, he managed to create an effective villain.
Yeah. So, despite Trunks and Krillin, they get looped in. They find the blueprints. They find the lab. They find the blueprints. They find little baby, embryo Cell in the thing,
and they destroy it.
Yeah, so they destroy the lab and everything. They got some handy dandy blueprints, but unfortunately, thanks to the time travel logic of the show, which I mean, it's pretty much, and more or less, it's kind of the end game logic, the whole branch timelines and the idea that events need to happen so time travel exists. Basically, it's not Back to the Future. That's the important. It's not as clear cut like you do. It's not a ripple effect time travel logic. Basically, we all operate off like ripple effect time travel logic, but then you have to get all heady and like, well, wait a minute, how does the thing even exist if we endanger this? And anyway, the point being, we're still stuck with the present problem, even if we prevented it from like the theoretical future. We still have to deal with the one that came back.
It still does. It still does bring to question how he was able to return to his own ruined future after everything was over.
Yeah, it's a good question. But again, Toriyama's not really concerned with like the time travel logic himself.
He's just telling a story that made sense, in a way.
Yeah, it makes enough sense, you know.
It's like maybe like it was programmed to return to his specific future.
Yeah. So we have a couple bits here that are maybe possibly like fillery bits. So with the filler here, we should also kind of hit a note. I mean, it's going to happen more later when we get actual filler. But it's just like little bits here and there. So the idea is like by the time the Frieza saga had to contend with this a little bit as well, but I mean, it was full tilt when they're doing the Cell saga. The anime was catching up with the manga as it was coming out, and they really had to stall while the manga was being finished and made and released and everything. So they had to, that's why we have so much stalling,
especially in the Cell saga. I mean, in the Frieza saga.
Yeah. The thing with the Cell saga is the Cell saga did not have it as bad as Frieza. We didn't have to come up with like a fake Namek like we did with Frieza, which still like, is the worst filler ever in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
We didn't go that far with it, but you probably will notice there's a lot of recapping that goes on in the filler here. It's a lot of like, we just flash back and we have people like explain the stuff we already explained pretty well during the action.
Yep.
Yeah,
I had noticed.
Anyway, so Goku wakes up finally. So he's taking his medicine. He's all better now. We have a sweet little bit with Chi Chi and like one of the rare moments of affection between Goku and Chi Chi, which is nice.
And yeah, it was.
Master Roshi's there, just was kind of there.
She's like, obviously, like it's moments like this that show us that Goku and Chi Chi actually really do love each other.
Yeah, throws her up in the air and catches her.
Yep.
So also I love this bit. Really touched me too. Like Goku, he does the instant transmission onto the airship right when Krillin says, "Oh, we need Goku," and he shows up right there, and we have this big old.
He's like, "Hi guys." I think Krillin's like, "That's it, I'm losing it."
That's a great little bit too. Where, Krillin is so overjoyed to see his best pal. He hugs him, and he kind of hugs him through the airship.
Yep. Yeah, that was good. Like, not only was Goku reunited with his wife, he was reunited with his best friend too.
Also, so with the filler, I got sidetracked with the filler. So there was a bit where like Krillin is like saving like this brother and sister from Cell, which is a really nice little interstitial.
It is good to show Krillin actually being proactive.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like with the filler. Like we do stuff like that,
Like one of the later filler, later filler is the return of a character from the original run.
Oh, we'll get there. I love that.
Yeah.
See, I am going to say this, okay? Barring the recap stuff, barring that, Cell Saga has some of my favorite filler in Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, it helps that they kind of leaned more into like the original roots of it. They leaned more like a little bit into the action gag kind of stuff for this. Like, they're like obviously like with this looming threat, they might as well like, hey, let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Of course, it's no driving episode, but it's the next best thing.
I mean, the driving episode was great. It's kind of hard to top that.
Again, is the fact there was like a filler episode so good, everyone like rioted almost. They didn't actually riot, but they could have rioted over like everyone. Their mother will say, Kai's pretty great, but they didn't have that driving episode.
Yep, it's like the Kai cut plus driving episode.
Which Kakarot game has the driving.
And does it cut out most of the other filler too?
No, that's the thing. It cuts out pretty much all the other filler, but you have like don't get me wrong, you have like in like the DLC, which basically in itself is kind of filler. You have like fillery sub stories, but really it's all it's pretty much guy. It's as cut.
except
It's as focused on the manga as it can be.
except for the driving episode.
Yeah, they have the driving episode, which is great.
That is great.
Oh yeah.
So,
All right.
so,
So,
so yeah.
let's see. So point being, so Goku gets looped in, and Goku has an idea. Let's use the hyperbolic time chamber. This is one of the iconic locations in Dragon Ball Z.
Basically what the hyperbolic time chamber allows you to do is to compress a year's worth of training into a single day.
I forgot the semantics of the hyperbolic time chamber, which I really liked, and this is great just in the introduction. They didn't really hit on it later on, I don't think, but the idea that one being an iconic location, it's very thematic with the time travel basis of the whole Android Cell saga. So already, it's a really good idea in terms
Plus,
of what to implement here. But
plus it's a good storytelling technique for Toriyama to implement, considering he's like, all right, I don't have them train for another few years.
yeah,
So,
that's the thing. So the idea that you train against the flow of time and gravity, that I love that being the reason for the one day to like how the hyperbolic time chamber works. I thought that was a great idea, and we also have the whole 48-hour time limit. You can only train up to 48 hours, or else you could basically the whole thing would be lost to time and space.
yep.
The whole vast infinite void effect.
And like Goku even reveals later that he trained in it as a kid, which we never actually saw.
Yeah, we never. Well, wait, did you say we didn't actually see?
Yeah, but we didn't actually see him train in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, that's the thing. We hint again. Toriyama didn't have an idea for the time chamber back then at that point. However, I like that in the anime we did kind of hint at like time travel stuff could happen at the lookout. So it was kind of like a. So it was kind of neat that we did kind of set up the hyperbolic time chamber, not the actual place. So it was kind of neat that you could buy that it was there because of that.
But either way, Goku reveals that he only lasted a month in there when he was a kid.
And it explains like how did Goku get so strong when he was fighting Piccolo Jr.
Yep.
It was like it was like the stuff that happened off between the years. So
So I wonder if like somebody let him out, or did he let himself out during that point, or
I think Popo probably opened the door and went in for him. So
yep. Speaking of, they also get a new guardian this arc too.
yes, that's later, but we get yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. I just wanted to bring that up.
All right, so I want to talk about the father-son parallels of our story, and this is like one of the strong components of this arc, where we have Vegeta and Trunks.
Vegeta and future Trunks.
Yes, Vegeta. Yes, not Vegeta and the baby. Vegeta and future Trunks. They're basically Goku kind of convinces Vegeta to kind of like work with him on this and go train the hyperbolic time chamber based on the fact that like this value the same. Look, you can go first, and of course Vegeta he'll always take that. Like, okay, fine, I can beat you. I can beat you. And first and foremost, that'd be great. If I can surpass you first, like Vegeta is so competitive.
And then Trunks goes in with him, and they train for the whole year.
But this is great though. So in parallel to each other, Vegeta and Trunks, this is like father-son bonding on two very different wavelengths here. With Trunks, he's trying to bond with his father, who died when he was young, and he obviously was Vegeta, so there probably weren't a lot of warm and fuzzy moments up to that point. And he's just trying to get to know the father that he didn't have enough time to spend with. So we have that. On the flip side, it's kind of a similar deal where Gohan and Goku, throughout the story of Dragon Ball Z, have been separated constantly. Rarely they've been together. Goku was a good father for 4 years in his life, and then then Gohan was kind of plucked away, and then they every time they get reunited, it's during a big battle in which Goku then gets pummeled, or something bad happens to him,
or
or he gets stuck in space,
or gets a heart virus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of a similar thing in parallel there, where Gohan is just he has this terrible luck with he getting to spend time with his father. So always horrible happens to his father. So it's a bonding opportunity for them. But the difference is Vegeta, he's a very selfish person. He has one goal period. He won't give Trunks time of day. He's not teaching Trunks. He's not training him. He's tolerating. They might be sparring a little bit between things, but I don't really see it. But the implications, maybe some sparring happened, but really it's just
His motivation isn't the salvation of the Earth or anything like that. His main goal is to beat Goku.
Yeah, beat Kakarot.
Kakarot.
Yeah, so Goku and Gohan. Goku is completely selfless. He's actually teaching him. This is like Goku kind of fitting into the Master Roshi role here, where he is,
and
he
crucially,
believes.
And crucially, Chi-Chi actually allows it.
Yeah, so I mean, Goku believes in Gohan, and they're basically getting an opportunity to do all the bonding that they've missed out on all this time, which is really nice.
Basically, a year's worth of it in a single day.
Yeah, which is it's such an inspired idea. It's like all the time they've missed out on, they're kind of getting in one day.
Yep. Oh, well. Meanwhile, while all this is happening,
So the androids are at Kame House.
Yep. They finally they raid Goku's house and seemingly 18 finds some new clothes.
I love that 18's like mocking Chi-Chi's wardrobe.
It's like, do you think 18 will be able to pull off a Chi-Pao like Chi-Chi does?
Well, 18 can pull off anything, but
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. And she ditched her cowgirl outfit, and now she's just wearing pants and a shirt.
Yeah, which of course, in my adventures with Superman, they basically did an homage to Dragon Ball Z, where they put Supergirl in the 18 outfit.
In that one?
Yeah, in that exact one, yeah.
Oh, nice. And that's great. That's like her iconic look outside of the original.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's wearing the short sleeve shirt with the vest and the pants. That's her look.
Like outside of her initial appearance.
yeah, exactly. Because 18, I think technically 18's got I don't know, before, basically in the original Android himself, I think she has 4 outfits. She has the red ribbon jean thing. She's got the new outfit. She had the cowgirl outfit. She has the new outfit, and I think there was something in between where she had the sleeves. And honestly, that sleeves look might have been recycled for the. I might be thinking just the later outfit she has in the next arc. So the whole just basically the black black shirt with these striped sleeves. So maybe that's what I'm thinking. I mean, those are the 4 outfits. Those are the 4 core outfits for.
But you are right. She can pull any of those outfits off.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's so Cell's going, and so basically Piccolo challenges them to basically 17, challenging his ego to a fight.
I love the stall tactics here. They're all time is playing such a role in this arc, and I love that where Piccolo's in a race against time where he has to defeat 17 so Cell can't absorb him, and he's going to do it as quickly as he can. But 17 is not something easy defeating. And the problem with these androids is that they never run out of power. That's what separates. That's why they're so hard to beat. It's not that Piccolo can't trounce the guy. It's that Piccolo can't. He's getting tired while he's fighting this young punk kid.
And then he would also have to deal with 18 and 16 on top of that.
Well, that's the thing. The main thing, though, is he just needs to defeat 1, so Cell can't become complete. So the bare minimum, he's trying to get 17 taken care of.
I mean, at least one of them needs to go, but even then, Cell absorbing one of them would mean he'd be infinitely more powerful.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bulma, she's building a remote that can basically, that's the other stall tactic, that Bulma could maybe defeat the androids, so Piccolo's additionally stalling for time there. So Bulma's building the remote. We had a really great bit amidst all this where, Roshi is, when Tien and Krillin kind of fly off, where, Master Roshi just feels completely helpless,
Basically, he's been outclassed by almost everybody now.
This again, those little moments of pathos always get me with Roshi when he has like those moments of introspection amidst things.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Piccolo's fighting 17. We had like this really cool scatter shot move where like
Oh yeah,
launched
that
all
was.
the energy beams and like they all like converged on. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was great. Piccolo, like it really just goes to show how much more powerful Piccolo had become since fusing with Kami.
And also smarter too. It's not just not smarter, but Piccolo is smart. But the idea that Piccolo again, he's a lot more. He's a lot more. He has a lot of Kami's heart and spirit in him now, where he's a lot more. He's a lot wiser, I should say, like worldly, maybe not wiser. Where
He's
he's
he's, he, he's not as like angry or brooding or anything like that.
maybe more stoic is the
Yeah,
word. He's become
yeah,
infinitely more stoic.
yeah. But he's still that. He's basically this is like one of the points where he's become that jerk with a heart of gold we all know and love.
Oh yeah. Plus, we liked Kami, so like Kami, fusing Piccolo was a really great movie.
Basically he tempered Piccolo.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. So Cell shows up, Cell arrives, and I always love this bit. Piccolo frantically warning 17, 17 just reactions like 17, get out of here, he's going to absorb you.
Oh yeah,
What?
and
And
then
then they kind of have this reluctant, they have this in the moment team up, which is just awesome. They're working together.
because obviously 17 doesn't want to be absorbed.
Yeah, this is great. So again, there are a lot of great twists and turns in the Cell saga. That's like one of them, right? The androids have been trying to beat this whole time, which again I love, and we call it out later on when Krillin is making his case for 18. You know, again, the androids were in our adjusted timeline. They were nowhere near as ruthless as like the mainline future androids.
Yeah, at
That's
least
things they just want to on a whim, really, just because they're bored. They want to fight Goku. It's not even not even just this whole thing of like we're gonna kill Goku, and then the whole plan is like, no, we're just gonna fight Goku, and no one can really stop us. So again,
and
spoiled children.
I mean they didn't. I mean, if I think about it, this entire time, they could have just caused mass destruction and could have drawn Goku to them.
Yeah,
But
technically they haven't really like outright murdered anyone. I mean, they've got into fights that've kind of probably killed a few people. They haven't like outright murdered people.
yep.
Anyway, so
So him
16.
16 basically after seven. I think he fights him after Cell absorbed 17, right?
No, not yet.
All right.
So that's the thing. So here's the really cool idea. I completely forgot about this. This was great in the rewatch. So 16 is one of 16 had two express purposes in how he was built. So Jiro kind of deemed him a failure because he basically was like, he was kind of like Ader in a sense, in that he was very peaceful except for his express purpose, which he never really got to fulfill. And the whole thing where Jiro, there's a backstory at 16 that never really got fully expressed in the anime. Now that we've watched it, we kind of know for sure. I mean, I think it was like a throwaway line about Dr. Jiro built me uh, after his son. Now we don't know if again, they don't really spell that if it is the case. I don't think Jiro like outfitted his son. I think it's a robot built to look like his son.
I'm I'm not sure how does that play into this.
Well, no, I'm just saying the whole like. I think the idea is that Jiro might have had some sentiment over like he may have loved his son who may have died, and he basically built 16 to resemble his son, possibly.
Hmm.
But again, the jury's a little out on like some of the 16 stuff. The point being, there's like a throwaway line about he mentions like Dr. Jiro built me to resemble son, but I'm pretty sure when we crush 16's head later, I'm pretty sure because of the little chip that implies to me that he is fully mechanical instead of being like a human modified to be.
And even then, 16 still proves to be definitely stronger than both 17 and 18.
So, well, that's the thing. So here's what we reveal. So 16 is built for two purposes. One, first and foremost, he's made to destroy Goku, mainly with the bomb. I think the idea is Jiro built him as a kamikaze to destroy Goku, that he would blow Goku up if he ever got into a fight with him to ensure Goku's death, which hopefully would not come to it. Maybe because he cared about him, maybe because he didn't want to just waste them. So either way, the point being,
and by the time he got to him, 16 would have learned to appreciate life.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, the other thing is that 16 apparently, and this is I was completely caught off guard by, 16 was built to be as strong as Imperfect Cell. So you're right, to an extent, he is more powerful than 17 and 18, at least as far as because he in theory he could have taken out Imperfect Cell, which is great. Like he rips his tail right off.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But then it goes right back anyway.
Yep, and the problem is, so basically 16 could have beaten Imperfect Cell, but 17 got cocky, and none of these androids flee when people tell them to, so 17 got absorbed.
Yep. Which causes 18 to go into hiding.
Yeah, and then we have Semi-Perfect Cell. Now, here's the thing. I had the toy for Semi-Perfect Cell, which is, I always loved the design of Semi-Perfect Cell.
He does kind of have an interesting kind of bulky look about him.
I don't know, I just love the design quality on it. He's like the perfect, like, in-between. But his voice always sounded so, like kind of mucusy, It sounded like a guy who, need to blow his nose,
Yeah, I totally get
Very
it.
congested. He had like this congested sound to him. Because I think the idea being it's like because he absorbed an android, it's almost like he had something caught in his nose or his throat or something.
Yeah, I totally see where you're getting going on that one.
But again, I love these cell designs and the idea that it's like a progression look of like you can see like just from the beginning. Like think about it. Cell, we have an idea what he's going to ultimately look like with the little sampler bot. We have the embryo. We have the cicada. It was so creepy seeing that thing move later on. We did the flashback, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Then, of course, imperfect, so you can see where it's going. It's like the gray, like cicada getting color and standing upright to then, we've modified again Frieza style. But again, it's all building to the design elements that we see in the perfect cell. It's great.
He definitely. The thing is, though, he is actually kind of less terrifying than Imperfect Cell.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. That's what I'm saying because he's trying to be like kind of movie star gorgeous, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yep. Because the original Cell was actually terrifying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's the least human, so we're making him more human, more warrior like as we go on with these forms. So he's very alien like here. Basically, he's kind of like it's more Frieza like in design when we get to the middle, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, and with the huge lips here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I drew. I can't tell you how many times I drew semi-perfect Cell as a kid because he just looked so cool. So let's see. So this bit I forgot about the whole like he tries to sell 18 on the idea by imitating 17's voice. It was so creepy.
But then she obviously realized it's not him.
Yeah.
Because he would never want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, well, we skipped over a bit of an important part with 18 though.
You're not talking about the thing with Krillin yet, are you?
No, I mean, I guess, yeah. Well, that happens before, but
Well, no, that happens. No, that hasn't happened yet.
all right.
Well, I mean, again, we're kind of jumping around, but I'm just saying. Well, what 18-bit did you want to talk about?
Well, that was the bit I was going to talk about.
Well, we'll get there. One sec. We're almost there.
All right.
I just want to talk about this. So while all this is going on, Piccolo kind of gets the tar beat out of him by semi-perfect Cell, and Goku and Gohan they're at the lookout, kind of like waiting for Vegeta to finish up, and they're at odds over Piccolo. Like Gohan wants to go down there and help him out, and Goku's very much like, no, Gohan, you can't act emotionally, you can't do that, and he actually hits him. It's a big it's a big toss up, and Mr. Pope will just kind of play a mediator.
Basically saying that Goku wants to go too, but
Yeah.
he wants to go as well, but it's not what Piccolo needs right now, or what was the exact reason?
Well, it looks like basically it looks like Piccolo's dead to them, and Goku's just saying, no, you can't just go out and avenge him. You got to play the smart Gohan.
And basically saying that he doesn't want Gohan to die as well.
Yeah. So then we have one of the coolest moments in Dragon Ball Z. Like really one of I guess basically this is Tien's shining moment. And again, unfortunately, Tien he basically. I'll admit, in the past when I've said Tien and Oolong, we kind of do less of these characters as we go on. I'm not entirely wrong, but I'll admit I was pleased to see Oolong kind of have the stay power that he did. Tien, however, we use him very sparingly. He's really mostly in the background, and in this arc, he basically does two things. He kind of states the obvious, not as much as Yamcha does, but he does that. So Tien's just kind of like Misty, kind of helps out the exposition, but also we give him a moment like this. This is like Tien's like big glowing moment all of Dragon Ball Z, where he does the tri beam thing. Basically, he's doing like tri beam after tri beam to stall Cell so 18 can get away, and it's like Tien's shining moment, and it's beyond awesome.
And it basically almost drains him to the point where he wouldn't be able to resist Cell at all.
Yep, and then Goku he goes full hypocritical here, but I love him. I love him for it because I don't want to see anything bad happen to Tien Shinhan.
And because he couldn't be brought back.
Yeah.
So, at least not by the Earth Dragon.
Well, same thing with Piccolo too.
Well, yeah. So
well, remember the Earth Dragon's not around anymore at this point. There is no Dragon Ball. When Kami fused with Piccolo, there are no Dragon Balls.
Well, that too. So what he does instead was he instant transmits to where Tien's body is, and basically
as his first encounter with Cell,
and says like, "I want to fight you, but I need to wait a day longer until I'm strong enough."
Of course, Cell kind of scoffs at this, but again, he has no idea how he's doing the instant. How are you doing that?
It is kind of funny, like how after Goku senses Piccolo and rescues him, he's like, "How did he do that?"
Oh yeah.
He's like, "I need to learn how to do that."
Yep, and then so basically Goku is able to save both Piccolo and Tien, so they're all good there.
Thankfully, Piccolo was not dead.
Thankfully.
Yes.
And Piccolo, who did not die.
Who did not die.
Like Tiny Tim.
Yep, did not die.
Yeah, so we're building up the Cell versus Goku fight, which again is going to be a great misdirect in our story. So 16 is injured, which then leads to the ridiculous delay of like 18. What is wrong with you? Go away, fly away with them. Come on.
Yep, and of course that leads to the moment with Krillin, where Krillin gets close enough with the remote.
Yeah.
And like he's like, come on, she's right there. Push it. Push the button.
But he can't bring himself to kill a pretty girl.
Because he loves her.
Yeah.
And then, but he actually does this ballsy move, and he reveals himself to them, and he stomps on the remote.
Yeah, which is a really nice gesture. I think really does touch 18.
Yep, he had the power to destroy her.
Yep,
but he didn't.
Yep. Anyway, so in him getting the remote, by the way, I love the idea that Chi-Chi like brought up to him like, well, can't you fly? Why don't you go to Bulma? Can't you fly faster than her airship? Can't you go get the remote?
Like, oh yeah. That's a good point. It's like, it is kind of funny. Like, did it ever explain how the characters actually could fly? Or just like, oh yeah, they can fly now.
Yes and no. The next arc explains how flight works, but we've never seen like them actually master flight, which always kind of bothered me. But there is an explanation. Gohan at some point learned it, but we never really talk about how he learned it.
Like basically, it just at some point, like off screen.
It all happened off screen for every character, but we never. Tien was the only one who could. Tien and Chiaotzu were the only ones who could actually they could they honestly.
They could levitate.
They levitate. In Dragon Ball, they levitated. There was no legit flight, but in Dragon Ball Z, there was legit flight yeah.
Basically, it's like, oh yeah, it's like basically like, yeah, they can fly now.
Yeah.
They fly now.
Technically, let me put it this way, Jay, it's purely a Toriyama thing where, okay, we can't bring the flying Nimbus to Namek, so we need flight.
Yeah.
So Goku can fly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't even need that because he can now instant transmit.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. I just wanted to know I wasn't missing something when my.
No, you're not. Like to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure you're not missing. Again, we have an episode about flight in the next arc, so we have a really nice way of I don't know. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it was in the main story. Yeah, it's important to the main story. So it was in the manga too. It was just basically there was a whole how to flight thing, but it's just
They channel their key energy. I know that.
yeah, that whole thing. So we have an episode that breaks that down the next one.
All right.
So
All right. So
anywho,
sorry for that derailment.
so uh, Bulma's at the lookout. She brings everyone some replicated Saiyan battle armor, for the training, which is a good move.
Which I thought you couldn't even fly to the lookout anyway.
Well, no, you can't train to. Honestly, Jacob, I always thought it was more of like the symbolically. If you want to train and get stronger at the lookout, you can't fly there, but you can fly there. At the very least, even if you couldn't, I think maybe it was like a kami rule. And there's no kami, so I don't know.
No, I'm not sure.
Look, the point being, if you're not training for martial arts like Bulma is, I think you're okay to fly.
All right, I'll accept that explanation.
That's always what I read it to be. Like cause I thought the same thing. Like, well, oh yeah, I guess you could just. Here's the thing, manga. I think that's the reason. In the anime, technically, if you want to split hairs, when Goku went up the lookout for the first time, there was like a lightning storm and everything. So in theory, she shouldn't be able to do that. But
because they explicitly didn't allow him to use the flying Nimbus.
Yeah.
But Bulma using an airship, that's perfectly fine.
Hey, it's nothing Nimbus.
Yeah, fair enough.
There you go.
So yeah, it's like Tien refuses the Saiyan armor. So does Piccolo. Because they want to fight as themselves.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I mean, Gohan's worn it before. It's so trippy to see Goku wearing the Saiyan armor, but it's a good look on him, frankly. It looks good.
And Gohan chooses his own armor now. He wants to go as Piccolo.
Well, that's later, but yeah.
I know, but still.
No, later, you're right, though. Later, it's a really nice bit, though, where they, Goku says, we prefer our own clothes. I prefer my own stuff. I don't want to fight in this stuff. I want to fight, actually, his lines, I want to fight as an Earthling.
Yeah.
And then you're right, that Gohan honors his master, much like, the Turtle School students honor their master.
And his first master was Piccolo.
Which again, man, I love those little Piccolo Gohan moments. They always make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Sure, kid, you look great in them. It's like, yeah, Piccolo's just a cowboy, man. I love it.
He is kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
God bless Chris Sabat.
Yeah.
Who I'm gonna meet in about a week.
Yeah. All right. So I love the Saiyan. By the way, we got the Saiyan hair. Fun fact here, where apparently, Trunks, when they walk out, Trunks has like the long hair because he's half Saiyan, but Vegeta doesn't look any different at all.
Because pure blood Saiyans' hairs basically stay the same since birth.
Yeah.
Whereas apparently half Saiyans, they inherit their human and had from humans.
Yes. All right, so Goku and Gohan, they train, just more hair shenanigans. I love the gag where, like, Gohan accidentally set Goku's hair on fire, and this is great fillery. Okay, so the way, in the manga, the way it worked, by the way, was we didn't see any of Vegeta and Trunks' training. We did get a little bit of Goku and Gohan's training, but it was bare minimum. It was pretty much like him saying he wants him to be stronger than he is, and the maybe like a little bit like the flickering, like the power up, and then ultimately the big bulk, the problem with Super Saiyan 2 moment. So those are like the three bits we saw in there with the training. Everything else is pretty much cool stuff for the anime.
All right.
But again, I like that it was in parallel to Vegeta and Trunks like struggling, like in being very non-harmonious. Outside, going up against Cell, where inside the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, you had like some really nice father-son moments between Goku and Gohan. I love that. Anyways, like Goku's hair's catching on fire, like he heats up like this. And he's like, "We got to work on your control, Gohan." But Dad, your hair, they go on, come on. It's like, oh God, no, put it out.
Yeah.
Then the bit where he's like cutting his hair. So overall, like Goku's a very patient, his teaching style is very different from Piccolo. But again, he can't do what he's doing without Piccolo did in the first place. So
he's like he says that he's going to be harder than Piccolo, but he ends up actually being a bit softer than Piccolo.
Yeah,
because that's his son.
Oh yeah.
For all the
You know what the funniest joke was in all the training between Goku and Gohan?
what was it?
It was I laughed so hard. It was Goku saying, okay, now Gohan, you need to picture all the people Cell is hurt and he's gonna hurt. And he's, but Dad, I've never met Cell. I don't know what he looks like.
You're
Oh,
like,
right.
oh yeah.
Admittedly, though, I love that joke. This bugs me. It's a we don't care moment.
Like we don't care.
So that's great. However, we have this other scene that is also great, but
Wait. We don't care.
yeah.
As you're saying.
So Gohan has a nightmare about Cell killing Piccolo and Chi Chi, and it's great. But we see Cell. So Gohan should have no idea what he looks like.
Well, to be fair, Goku had pretty much the same dream about the androids.
Well, yeah, you're right.
And he had no idea what they looked like either.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Studio dropped the ball, or dropped the Dragon Ball on that one. Yeah.
I don't have the rim shot in this one.
Anyway. Okay, so Super Vegeta versus Cell.
Basically, Vegeta's training in the hyperbolic time chamber has paid off. Seemingly.
Yeah.
Again, when he wants to prove that he's become the strongest fighter in the universe.
So Super Vegeta, I love the ego move of him calling himself, I'm Super Vegeta!
that fits perfectly in line with his ego.
So he beats the tar out of a semi-perfect Cell, but falls prey to his pride, ignoring the pleas of future Trunks, and he allows Cell to become perfect. And like, I love he's just making fun of Cell, like, oh, you're just whining because you're losing the fight. And he's like, I could be perfect, So basically, that coupled with Krillin destroying the remote allows 18 to be absorbed and Cell to become perfect Cell.
Yeah, Vegeta could have easily won. And like, do you think there's a bit of like projection there when it came to him like dressing down Cell in that regard? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, what I mean is like he said Cell was like whining because he's losing.
Yeah.
Which I said, do you think that's some self projection that he's projecting himself onto Cell there?
It is probably. We do have a lot of moments where you can kind of see the people that Cell has absorbed in places, in in terms of like his chemical makeup. Like the Cell games is very much a Goku idea. The whole the ego and the mockery, like when the tides turn after when we get Perfect Cell, who then proceeds to outclass Vegeta at every turn. That's Vegeta at play there. Maybe a little bit of Frieza as well. Honestly, him whining and later on, his go-to move to blow up the planet, that's Frieza to a
T. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of elements that are kind of going into, Cell's behavior. So you're not far off with that, I don't think.
All right.
So Perfect Cell outclasses Vegeta, which then Trunks intervenes and he reveals that he's gone to Super Saiyan 2, but he hasn't quite mastered it because he hasn't found a way around the flaw in Super Saiyan 2. And I love so much, by the way.
Well, before that, we just set that up. Like, he claims that Vegeta hit a plateau and that he actually surpassed Vegeta.
Yeah.
But that's just it. It's a claim.
Yeah, well, I mean, he thinks he has, but he hasn't really had again, because he had no training partner. He has no way to test that out and learn what the limitation was.
And that limitation is, as he bulks up, he also loses speed, which draws on his energy as well.
But again, in the storytelling, Jacob, what Toriyama did, I love that. While that's unfolding, Goku is demonstrating this to Gohan, and Gohan's like, oh, congratulations, Dad, look at you. You can beat Cell, no problem. Like, Gohan, I might have the power to beat Cell, but this is impractical. Or basically, and it's really neat, too, where the way we visualize Super Saiyan 2 is, it's kind of like when I was a kid, I would draw the Dragon Ball characters, or just in general, the muscular, like Hercules or whoever, classic, kind of muscle bound characters. And the way you do it is you bulk them up and you draw giant circles and everything for the muscles. And the idea here is if you draw Broly, or you have basically it's like Broly, where it, so let me put it this way: do you remember that episode of The Fairly Odd Parents where it was like the action movie parody where Timmy wishes life was like an action movie?
A big superhero wish, was that it, or was that?
No, no, not Big Superhero Wish. It was like literally an action movie. It's like Die Hard and the action cliches.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
This is like early on. Anyway, so Jorgen was like the bad guy, and Jorgen von Strangle basically he hulked out and he had these muscles and he couldn't like get the cat off his face because my muscles are too big. I can't. He can't. He can't reach his own back. He can't reach his own face because he buffed up his muscles that much. So that's
I,
basically what
I
Goku's.
I think I remember that now. Yeah.
So that's the thing. It was it's almost like kind of Toriyama making fun of the Broly design, which technically wasn't his at first. That it was like a thing they kind of did. And I don't think Toriyama did anything with Broly, at least the original Broly.
Did this originally come out before Broly or after?
I think this came out. Again, remember some of these were concurrent productions. I want to say this came out before Broly because I think Future Trunks is in the Broly movie, but I'm not sure.
I just don't know because it could that if it came out before Broly, then it'd be a coincidence.
That's the thing. I think Trunks was in that, so that's why I don't know. I mean, it could have been that thing. It could have been easily after because the manga was out first, and then they could have pulled from there. I don't know.
I haven't seen any of the movies outside of Dead Zone and the Super stuff.
All right. Well, anyway, the point being, it's kind of making fun of like what that design principle is for the original Broly, not the revamped Super Broly. And like the original Broly was like even bigger than like what you saw in the Super Broly movie, and he's just giant hulking muscles, and the idea that would slow you down, and basically that's if he could connect the punches, Cell would be in trouble, but he can't because Cell's too quick.
Yep.
So there's that realization and the idea that had Vegeta actually taught Trunks, he would have realized the mistake in the bulk mistake.
And it also ends up using more of his energy too.
Yep, and it's really a heartbreaking moment for Future Trunks here, where he's just kind of like he resides to his fate, just accepting the failure which his father would never do. It's very sad.
An important thing earlier was that like he's like when someone's like talking about leaving, like I think Krill was like talking about leaving his father behind, like he's too much of an ego. It's like no, like talking about how much like it's honor that Vegeta has.
Yeah.
and then like you might be able to explain it better than I can, Dragon.
Well, yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah, go on.
No, you go ahead.
I don't know the exact wording, so you might be able to do it better.
Well, I don't know the exact wording either. I was going to interpret it. It's just basically the idea that my father's all about like Saiyan pride, and like it's honor that drove my father to become a Super Saiyan, that kind of stuff.
And basically, he's saying like he doesn't see him as like resentful or like egotistical or anything like that. Well, that he kind of is, but that's why he doesn't hold it against Vegeta.
Yeah.
Basically, he sees the honorable warrior that Vegeta is.
Yeah.
Which actually from that point from kind of paints a lot of Vegeta's past and puts it into perspective.
Yeah. Anyway, so I love that Goku and Vegeta figured out the bulk problem in Super Saiyan 2, which is why they hadn't like just instantly used it. So Trunks is a goner, but then Cell again, per like the Goku of it all here, is just like if you had kind of a combination of Goku and Vegeta in this moment here, where he wants the ego that he just used to goad Vegeta into letting him become perfect Cell,
he wants to fight everybody at their strongest.
Which again is coupled with like Goku's desire, and again one could argue like the poison or like the fatal flaw of Goku is that he will always be overly fair and very just he wants to test his merit. And it's not like out of one could argue that Goku's desire to like mind you it's coming from like the turtle school of thought of like just self-improvement, self-betterment and everything. You could also argue that is like the nice guy version of Saiyan pride that he might also kind of be having his DNA, but it's come out a much more positive, inspirational way versus ego.
Even if it doesn't have the best outcome.
Yeah.
As we later find out.
So here, Cell he wants the he wants to prove that that he's lived up to his purpose and his namesake and everything. He wants to be this perfect warrior ever. So I'm going to give you, if you did all this in one day, I'm going to give you 10 days, and we'll have a tournament, just like the old days of the World Martial Arts Tournament. Which again, he's thinking back to because that's his origin, essentially, with all the cells and the DNA and everything. So it's a homecoming for him, kind of.
And he wants to prove like the genius of Doctor Gero.
Yeah. So we have the cell games. This is like the best kind of section of the arc here when we get to the cell games. So the fighters prepare. We have some preparation filler here. Where again, some of my favorite DBZ filler. So we have Goku. He's very cryptic, very and oddly calm.
Like, and he meet like, and when they finally emerge from the hyperbolic time chamber, they're in Super Saiyan form 24/7.
But again, it's interesting. We saw Super Saiyan was like an intense, like big moment in the Frieza saga, but it's just Goku's training logic here is like, okay, we can't bulk up, we can't like go to Super Saiyan 2 per se. So what we should do is like master Super Saiyan in day-to-day life so it becomes second nature. And again, this is all I love that Goku's throughout the series and basically throughout his life, if we kind of count this as kind of like, at least for the time being, the end of Goku's story, you know, he's fully gone. He has gone full circle with like the teachings of Master Roshi, where we've seen the weighted clothing, which of course bleeds into the gravity training, and the biggest thing that we have here with our 10 days to the cell game, it's the let life be your teacher. It's like the rest relaxation thing. When they were training hard, and they were also like resting in the hammocks and doing stuff like that.
He did say that like rest is arguably even more important than the actual training.
Which that again, resting in the Super Saiyan kind of form, it's a brilliant idea.
It's a way for them to get used to it, and so if they need to switch on to Super Saiyan 2, they can just do it.
I just love the reaction to everyone. By the way, where Goku says, "Oh yeah, no, we're nowhere near as strong as Cell," and like, "Oh, I don't think I can beat him." And it's just everyone just like being gobsmacked and like it's just like, "Oh, I don't need we don't need to go back in the hyperbolic time chamber." Like, what? Oh, it couldn't cut it, could you? It's like, look, if you want to train yourself to your dead tired, Vegeta, go ahead, you could use it. And it's like, what is that supposed to mean?
And Goku is being cryptic. He obviously has a plan to defeat Cell.
Oh yeah, he's got an ace up his sleeve.
Yeah, but what exactly is it? That's the question.
Yeah, visits Korin, and again, this is the whole thing of like we're checking off the old familiar places from Dragon Ball. We're popping by, Korin, Korin's
And,
tower.
and Yajirobe's there.
Yep, we're getting the sensu beans, but also, we're asking Korin to gauge, Cell's power versus Goku's power. The hilarious guy where Goku powers up so much, Yajirobe he almost takes down the whole tower, and Yajirobe's like flung off the side.
Yeah. Like, what? Like, watch what you're doing, dude.
Yep.
But even Korin's like, he's still not powerful enough to fight Cell. And
Nope.
Goku's fine with that.
Yeah, it's like, yep, that's what I thought.
And I'm
All right, so Chi-Chi's reaction to the Saiyan hair.
My son's a punker.
God, I still rewatch and I laugh as hard as I did then. I tell you,
my baby boy's a punker.
I still cracks me up even more as just Goku said, "Oh, babe, you crack me up."
Like she's worried that he's like joining a gang or whatever.
It was so funny when Goku's just so casual the Chi-Chi's madness. He's like, "Oh, babe, you crack me up." He's just done with a smile.
Aww. And like she
Goku's
knows,
life's a sitcom as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, and like, I think he ultimately knows that she won't stay mad at him forever.
Yeah.
And she knows that too. She knows that she won't be mad at him forever.
I mean, he came back from the he's come back from the dead. He was almost dying of natural causes. Like she was, she's going through an arc, Chi-Chi. Like initially, she was really mad at him in the hospital after the Saiyan saga, but she was still knitting him like a sweater.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like deep down, she still loves the big lug, and every time like these horrible things happen to him, she kind of gets closer, more appreciative to him. And plus, there is some subtext that goes on, by the way, in our filler here, where Goku and Chi Chi, they're in a good place, and Chi Chi, she's been missing Goku, and especially after he almost died from the heart virus, and
Yeah.
we're implying that Goten, was probably conceived during the 10-day period.
Yeah.
That's the implication, and what's funny? The
What?
Kakarot game kind of basically suggests that as well.
Oh God.
No, seriously, there's a bit in the
I,
Kakarot game.
I don't doubt it, Dragon.
In the Kakarot game, there's this bit where because you mainly you're playing as Goku, but then it kind of shifts to a few other characters. So you go as Gohan for a while, and the idea is like during this downtime period, this Goku and Chi Chi are getting a little lovey-dovey, not like over, not in an out of character way, but the idea is like like, hey, why don't you two go for a drive? I'll catch up later. You guys have your picnic. It was supposed to be like a family drive, and it's just the two of them. So the express implication is, okay, it's just the two of them.
Yep. I get the idea.
Okay, anyway. So I would like to assume maybe the same, happened here.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably during the Lime episode, if anything, by the way.
The Lime one?
I'm just saying, think about it. Like, Goku, shows up at the end of that episode,
Yeah.
What's he doing before then?
Good point.
I'm just saying. Anyway.
Just saying. You're just saying.
I'm just super saying,
So yeah.
Well, by the way, speaking of that, Chi-Chi, we answered the question, like, we saw that car at the end of the Android, at the end of the driving episode in the Android Saga, and
Goku can drive.
yeah, we assumed that I still say this is a little ridiculous, though, that really Chi-Chi's like, you see, I can't drive. Well, Chi-Chi, really? You can't figure it out? You?
We've actually seen her drive before, too.
You sure about that?
Yeah, remember she was driving to Roshi's Island.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, the Ox King was in the car though. Was that a thing where it was like the left-right thing, where was the Ox King technically driving?
I think it was her driving.
I mean, it felt like her driving. I'm saying, like, could she have been like yelling at him while he's like frantically behind the wheel?
I think, from what I could tell from the image, she was like had her hands on the wheel.
Okay, well, you know what that's Toriyama saying?
We don't care.
We don't care.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, yeah, so.
The point being, this well, actually, this isn't Toriyama saying this. Technically, this is the anime crew not paying attention to their own continuity. But anyway.
But either way,
we don't care.
Yeah.
So we do get a funny scene. We do get a funny scene earlier when like Goku's actually fishing with Gohan
and Krillin Krillin.
Krillin like he probably sense everything happening around him. I'm going to throw this rock and he'll dodge it.
So he threw a rock at him.
And then he throws a rock and it hits Goku right in the head.
If that's your idea of a joke.
Like Goku's like pissed.
Yes. Like, It's like, Goku, you Piccolo's like stuck an elbow in like your open wound. The rock hurt you?
Well, it's like, at least he saw the elbow coming.
Well, yeah.
But he didn't see the rock.
He's like a little rock, though.
I know, but Krillin's strong, though.
He's at Jacob. He's at all of his bones broken by a giant ape Vegeta.
Yeah, I know. I think it was more like an ow bout of like, you say ow even though you're not hurt, you're just more surprised.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's more of the shock.
Yeah, I think that's probably more like what happened. He wasn't like legitimately hurt. I think he was just more like an ow of surprise than anything else.
Yeah,
it's still funny though, considering he literally goes ape over it.
That's true. So I love little bits too, by the way, throughout this with the 10 days. I love that Cell genuinely takes pride in the ring, and his big ZTV announcement, which I completely forgot about this joke. When Cell interrupts the broadcast, he's interrupting Roshi's exercise girls, and like the poor exercise girls like lifted on top of like Cell's giant like insect head thing.
That's not in the script. like, and they're like, which way? It's like, which way is the world broadcasting room? he's
That
like, pardon,
way?
he's like, pardon me, my good, pardon me, my good sir.
God, love it.
Like, in that egotistical, arrogant kind of way that he walks in and he knows he owns the room,
Yeah.
and then he announces to the world the Cell games,
Oh yeah.
and then he creates the ring out of a random farmer's area.
Yep.
So
Basically, he takes pride in the ring. He explains the rules, which essentially, initially, before he throws the rules out the window, they essentially work like the World Martial Arts Tournament, only there's no 10 count.
yep.
That's essentially how it started, at least. So we have the let's see, 16 gets repaired, and ultimately we take his bomb out and everything, and we establish it. I love the little bit where like Dr. Brief's cat, like animals love 16,
Yep.
which is great.
It is nice.
All right, so one of my favorite of all the fillery stuff, Gohan and the Lime, a girl is basically styled to be a Western, so a girl named Lime,
Oh yeah.
like a Liberty Balance kind of,
And basically, she has it out for Gohan from the very beginning.
Yeah, Gohan accidentally kind of pulls like how his parents met, but it's a whole. But anyway, the point being,
Even though this isn't the girl he ends up with.
no. But yeah, so Gohan, technically they have Videl instigates that one. If you really pay attention, the Great Saiyan man. She, well, we'll get there. We'll get there next time.
Well, arguably, the girl he eventually meets is better.
Yes, and oh boy, he's got a bird's eye view on that one. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll definitely. He gets up close and personal with her.
Yeah, he's right with her love nest. We'll get there. So Gohan meets this girl. Lime, saves her, and basically there's this town that's being like strong armed into like a like. This is like I want to be also. This is like another thing too, where I think it's technically supposed to be Shane, or it's like the West. So the Western Shane constantly gets parodied in animation, and I love it. Like one of my favorite episodes of Buzz Lightyear Star Command is a Shane parody. So the reason I love it as a kid, and still to this day, is the idea that, oh my god, we made Buzz a cowboy for an episode, and I loved it. It's like the coolest, headiest thing. Or, oh my god, Buzz Lightyear's a cowboy like Woody, isn't that? Oh my god, it's so cool.
And it's also kind of crossed with like the Red Ribbon Army saga from the original series.
Well, yeah.
Because basically vodka was almost like General Red or Commander Red.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
They even bring back Mercenary Tao, or in this case, General Tao, as they call him in this dub.
Yeah, so anyway, my point is it's just kind of the old structure of like we have the newcomer who kind of helps the town out, and it's the idea of like people are being strong armed by whoever like the quote unquote law of the town. There's like who like the unofficial law of the town is, and like the stranger, will kind of set things right. That's kind of Shane.
That does make sense, yeah.
But anyway, so with that, and with Tao, and with kind of our kind of General Red-esque character, I just love that this episode is entirely it's a throwback to classic Dragon Ball, and again the whole full circle element of this it's just so refreshing and just really great. It goes to a small town. He's far more powered than anyone would expect, but he's again a little more little less oblivious to it than his father is.
Yep.
It's just great. I love like the old man, like Lime's grandfather, like he's a fighter, and it's great. He's wearing Jackie Chun's hair.
And the reason it's abandoned is because of Cell.
Yeah. Anyway, so General Tao, mercenary. Anyway, so Tao shows up, and again
they call him General Tao here for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's this case that this was dubbed before they did Dragon Ball, so they didn't know if it would go with Mercenary or what.
It's possible. It's probably honestly, it's what if I have a headcanon, like a way to make it work, I think the idea is that he doesn't want to be known as Mercenary, so he's kind of rebranding himself.
So he called himself General Tao.
Yeah, that's a guess. Yeah.
All right.
I think it's just a person to rebranding things for these specific jobs.
So General Tao when he sees Gohan, he initially is fearful that it's Goku coming back.
Yep, and he says, "Oh, for a moment they had me worried. Now, it's close enough. Goku's my father." What? Just the look on Tao's face, and the idea is he pulls like like the pillar trick with a tree. He says like, "I'm going."
Yep, that was great.
Oh my god, it was so funny. Then Goku shows up. Like, oh boy, the look on Tao's face had Goku showing up, and we're gonna see that soon.
Yep.
So Goku, he basically Goku wants to restore the cells, causing all sorts of havoc, and Goku's feeling very guilt ridden about it. He's just okay, look, we gotta bring all these people back. We need Dragon Balls. How do we do it? We need a new Guardian. Let's go to New Namek and we find a new Guardian, which is Dende, our little pal from the Frieza saga, and we bring him to Earth and make him the new Guardian, and he restores the Dragon Balls.
Which was nice to see Dende return.
Yeah, and basically this gives again in the whole full circle element of it. He is, Goku is going on one last hunt for the Dragon Balls, which is really kind of nice.
Yep. And even
it's economized because if he can fly and do all this, realistically, it would not take him as long to find the Dragon Balls.
Yep. He's even faster than the Nimbus now.
Yep. So then he has this hilarious run-in with Tao, and
like where because he and Vodka have the two Dragon Balls.
Yep, and I love like the gag of like there's a lot of gag humor here with Tao. Basically, he bought him on the black market. He didn't really find him.
Yep.
He's kind of worried, like, well, he doesn't have to know that. Anyway, so the idea that Goku shows up and he knows he's in no shape to actually take Goku down. So what he does is like he tricks him because Goku is insanely naive and potentially gullible. So
it says if you beat these puzzle games, like they're like these little like metal puzzles where you like have to unhook them.
Yeah.
And he says if you can beat these, I'll give you my 2 balls.
Yeah, have until morning. And he says, okay, he's given plenty of time to skip town, essentially. Oh, let's take your jacket off, which has the Dragon Balls in him. So
which Goku doesn't even notice.
I love how pleasant this is. Like, like Goku's like, look, no hard feelings. He's like, of course not. And all this, and then they stick him with like one of the 3 goons, and like this. The goons he accidentally hurt one of the goons. Oh, I'm sorry, you okay? And all this sort of thing. He's like, maybe they went to get breakfast. Like, this goon has no idea what's actually going on. So then Goku's, no, it's all right, I'll find him. He finds him just like fishing in the water somewhere. It's like,
oh hey, I completed the puzzles.
Here you go.
And then they just give him the balls, and they don't even want to. They don't even bother. They're just like, I'd rather live than fight Goku.
Do I still get paid? Oh, it's funny. All right, so the actual cell.
It is kind of nice to see like Mercenary Tao coming from like more like the toughest enemy that Goku fought up to that point, to basically him cowering at the mere sight of Goku,
which is hilarious.
Yes.
By the way, Tao, after you the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, you get Tao's still around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see him return for that.
Oh yeah. Anyway, also one of so you gotta remember, Jacob, a lot of my home video stuff where I had to pick through the aisles of all the Dragon Ball Z DVDs to get because you couldn't just get them all. I went for the filler. I went for so that's why I'm so familiar with the Cell Saga stuff, including one of my favorite episodes in all the filler, besides the Lime episode.
Yeah.
It was Gohan's birthday. We have we have the great gag, by the way, where Gohan, I think you should study. What? Are you okay? Are you sick?
I think it's Memories of Gohan.
Yeah, Memories of Gohan. Everyone's freaking out because Goku is encouraging studying.
And even Chi-Chi's like, "Are you okay, Goku?" Even Chi-Chi's like worried that he's sick again.
They've pulled this gag twice. So this is the one in the series, and one of the movies. I think it was the first. I think it was Cooler, The Revenge of Cooler.
And they're and Chi-Chi's worried that Goku was sick because he was actually suggesting that Gohan study.
Yeah, initially, that's the thing. So, Gohan, finish your studying, and Chi-Chi's like, oh no, he's encouraging Gohan to study. Is I think she's about to knock him out because she thinks it's almost like a madness kind of thing. And then he reveals we're going camping. Oh, camping!
That's what I thought. I was she was It's like she was initially mad because Goku was saying that he should train, but then when he actually says he should study, she's like, "What do you think? Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so I love all these. I love the origin of Gohan's name. I thought it was such an adorable little thing where it's like the baby's born, and just they haven't come up with a name yet.
and
Like
then
Goku says, like
Chi wants to name him Einstein.
Ox King has like all these ox prefixes, like Ox King, Ox in a box.
like Monkey Ox or Ox Monkey.
Yeah.
Like he really wanted his grandson's name to have ox in it.
Yep. And anyway, so Goku's like, well, we're not gonna do anything. He's about to just grab something to eat. He's about to leave. Are you really gonna leave while your son's there without a name? Aren't you gonna at least say one name? One name?
It's like, did Gohan teach you anything in those woods?
And the baby laughs, and that's how Gohan got his name. You like that name, don't you?
And then it is kind of adorable that Ox King would obviously love that name because he was a good friend. He was best friends with Grandpa Gohan.
Very nice. So that and those, we also have like the little the Gohan showing potential very early with like the whole tree thing. Like he basically dive bombed through a tree, kind of like he did with Raditz.
Yep.
Then of course the birthday party, like he blows out the cake too hard because he's in Super Saiyan.
So yeah, but Chi looks like she's about to get mad. But it's like, oh, that's normal around here.
Yeah, man, it'd be really mad. It'd be really bad if she got mad on the kid on his birthday for blowing out his candles.
Yep.
Anyway, so the Cell games. 10 days have passed. We had some good times.
I do like the minor detail of Cell being bored, waiting like, I shouldn't have made it 10 days.
Yeah.
But he held on to his word. He waited 10 days.
Do you remember did I ever tell you about I think it was Tenkaichi Budokai, it was the second or third game, might have been the second one, where there's a thing you can do where if you play as Krillin, there's basically a what if thing where what if Krillin fought semi-perfect Cell, and essentially the idea is you can find the clip on YouTube somewhere. I forget which, if it's 2 or 3 it happens in. I want to say 3, but it could have been 2. Okay. Essentially, Krillin fights Cell. He saves 18 by like you pushing her out of the way when he absorbs, and Krillin gets absorbed instead.
Aww.
And then Yamcha fights, like Krillin Cell, and Yamcha wins because you're playing as Yamcha now, and it's this whole thing where. And it was this thing where, Cell wakes up and it was just a horrible nightmare. And then basically echoes the whole, 10 days is too long to wait for a tournament. Like that kind of.
Was it just the original first Budokai, or?
No, I think, I'm pretty sure it was the second or third, but I don't think it was the first one. I could be wrong. I played it myself. I did not have the first one, so I'm pretty sure it was 2 or 3. Probably it's 3. But
because I'm looking it up, it says Cell absorbs Krillin and just says Budokai on it.
I mean, it was in a Budokai game. I don't know if it's going to label which one, but
All right. I trust your opinion since I never actually played any of those.
All right, anyway. All right, so yes.
In the meantime, before the games, where we are introduced to a new world champion.
Yes.
Mr. Satan.
Mr. Hercule Satan.
Yes. like Hulk Hogan meets what was it, like Macho Man Randy Savage.
So Hercule is kind of like, he's basically the J. Jonah Jameson or Alex Jones of Dragon Ball Z. It's a
Yep.
Who is again the better? I mean, like the more all-encompassing comparison to J. Jonah Jameson, but in terms of all the fakery and accusations, it's a little Alex Jones-esque. But the point being, the whole wires and smoke and mirrors thing. But the veracity that he says it is so J. Jonah Jameson, though.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of reminds me of like a kind of a Darren Norris J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Which I know is technically kind of J.K. Simmons is.
Yeah, no, Darren Norris made it his own, but you're right,
I,
though. It's, you know.
I know, but it is like I think I am more leaning towards Darren Norris's take on
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson when it comes to Mr. Satan.
All right, so the point being, Mr. Satan's like this ham of a world martial arts tournament champ. It's unclear if I think the idea is they made it sound like years had passed since the last tournament. It used to be like kind of not an annual thing, but like every 3 years. So it's possible it's just in reference to 3 years. With the point being, I think between when Goku won and now, there was another tournament. Hercule won. That's what I think happened. So that's when he became champ. It seems like a recent champ thing, be my guess.
And because they didn't have the tournament, because it was destroyed destroyed when Goku and Piccolo Jr. fought.
Yeah, so because of that, I don't know if that was like the end of those tournaments for a while, or if Hercule was a champ before Goku. I don't know. Anyway, the point being, he has an entourage of managers and and proteges and like a reporter he's clearly paying.
Yep.
Like just a hype man of sorts, and it's just basically this is such a goofy way of taking basically this joke with like who has kind of like a long-term impact on Dragon Ball as we go forward, which I don't think was initially intended by Toriyama. I'm pretty sure the way it went was like Hercule factored into the story the way he did. And like, he shows up, like, he tries to take out Cell very stupidly, and it's like a gag manga bit. And then later on, he helps out 16, and that's it. And then he gets all the credits. Like a 3-act, basically, it's a 3-pronged thing with Hercule, I think, is what's in the core manga, the core story, that Hercule shows up as a joke in the midst of our serious story. He helps out, and then we reward him by giving him all the credit because the Z Fighters don't need the credit. And that's essentially how that goes. But all the other filler that we have here, which we just extend the joke, and then of course everything that happens when Dragon Ball keeps going, because logically somebody is going to get the glory, and what does that world look like? 7 years later, well, Hercule's going to be the top dog. So
Yep, and then there's someone else that follows in his footsteps.
Yeah, so all that kind of I feel was like a happy accident because Hercule tested so well and people love Hercule.
I mean, like he's like you can't help but kind of love the guy. like the like it's kind of like almost like Vegeta, but not as dangerous, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
he has that ego that you kind of just love, that you just kind of love.
It's kind of like if Yajirobe actually stuck around. That's kind of,
Yeah, I can kind of say, and wasn't a coward.
Yeah.
And wasn't obsessed with Brictus.
Yeah. So basically, ultimately, Hercule is like the ultimate. He also is kind of the face of filler in the Cell saga. Besides recapping things, Hercule constantly we keep cutting him like on the side of the fight, just kind of giving a play-by-play, and like it's all mirrors. It's a trick. See that crack in the ring? That's where they are.
Like, oh, my stomach. Oh.
And I love like the girl, like it was like saying, "Oh, here's the." I have some medicine here for you. Oh, the pain! Like, get that out of here. Oh, the pain. I love. There's this bit I completely forgot about. It was adorable. Where Hercule, he's cowering in terror, like holding the girl in terror, and she's like, "Oh, Hercule here in front of everyone!" Like, oh my god!
It's like usually that's in private.
Yes. Oh my god! I laughed so hard. I forgot all about that.
Looks like Mr. Satan's getting a little close.
Yeah, she was an attractive girl too.
She
Not
was
bright.
Yeah.
None of them were bright. They were all pretty stupid, but still, she was attractive.
I mean, she knew what was going on, I think, more than the others did, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, here's the thing. Hercule's the character where you love him, but you also kind of maybe he's going to get just a little smart. Ultimately, he does, but it takes him a long time getting there. It's like, you just wish he was smart enough, just a little bit.
And ultimately, he does end up helping save the world.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Eventually, it all works out. When we actually throw him in the thick of it, it goes great for him. Up until that point, it's like, oh my god, Hercule's such an idiot.
And he actually does end up saving the world too.
Well, yeah, you already said that.
I know. I'm just adding it. again. But here it's just like, yeah, he's just this like this egotistical like the classic is like basically a classic wrestler kind of.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, like Macho Man Randy Savage kind of guy. Like, yeah.
Yep. He deserves the. Later on, we had that joke where Goku says Hercule Puffs. He could get his own cereal.
I thought Hercules would sound better.
Yep. Satan flakes.
That works too.
All right. So, might have some difficulty in the Bible Belt, but All right. So Goku versus Cell. So this is the fight that you are expecting. It's Goku versus a fighter who basically can replicate all the moves of the foes that he has gone up against in the past. It seems to be like a perfect tailor-made, fight for Goku. You imagine would end out the arc, right?
Wrong.
Yeah. So with the techniques we use here, we also use the multi-form, the special beam cannon, destructo disc, etc., etc. I love that. I'm sorry. Sorry. Before we get to the wrong, one little fillery bit that I loved. I wanted to shout out because it just occurred to me.
Yeah.
I love the King Furry. Basically the president of the Dragon Ball world. It's very Teddy Roosevelt looking like dog man president. That guy. So
Yep.
King Furry. He is like this. He's like the only smart person who suspects that the blonde haired warrior is Goku, or at the very least he knows like Hercule's full of it. Like this young man's gonna do the job.
Yeah.
Very nice, like King Furry. He was.
The thing is, he thinks he recognizes Goku like he has because of his innocent stare.
Yeah, and also like the orange gi.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah. Also, the fact that Piccolo's there, which kind of brings back some memories.
It's like, yeah, but he doesn't question. He doesn't really question that one.
Yeah.
It's like he thinks, like, wait a minute, Piccolo.
Well, again, it's always some people are only so perceptive.
He's like, wait a minute. Isn't that the same alien? Isn't the same guy that destroyed the martial arts tournament so many years ago?
Well, he didn't watch that. He's talking about he remembered the father. Remember the first guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, they look pretty much the same.
Well, he's wearing a hat though. Jacob clearly can't be him.
You're right. He's wearing a hat.
Yeah.
It's like the Muppets. It's like the Great Muppet Caper Principle.
Yeah.
Wait, Fozzie, take off the hat.
The
Oh
twins.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have some really great Goku versus Cell stuff here. I like the reflex kicks here, where essentially, like in the same fluid action of like a kick and a blow, it's like they're like still gesturing to the next move, like without falling. I just love that on the same stride. That was great. It's a very even fight, and you think Goku kind of has this in hand, and Cell ultimately Cell gets bored. He blows up the ring, says, no, I'm tired of playing by the tournament rules. And 16 ends up saving Hercule and company, which is a really nice bit and ingratiates Hercule to 16 later on, which is a great addition.
Yep, that it does, despite Hercule's, like Mr. Satan's constant notarizing that. It's like, it's all a trick, smoke, and mirrors.
Also, he's insulting him, too, like saying, oh, that little kid's not going to be able to do anything.
Yep. He's not going to be able to do anything. So Cell. So yeah, go on.
In rounding out Goku's kind of like his milestones here, we give him a really good tournament belt, and then we take the ring away, kind of like we've done in prior tournaments with him, and we give Goku like one of the coolest Kamehameha waves ever, second to the one that he does not, well, not himself take part in, but he's there in spirit. We have the instant transmission up close Kamehameha wave, which is like the coolest thing ever.
It was, yeah. And once again, we get to see Goku. We get to see Cell basically being half destroyed.
Yep, top half completely gone. On the rewatch, until I got to a specific line of dialogue, I was calling BS in a big way, where I was thinking, like, when Cell pointed to his head, I thought it was like literally like if his head is intact, but it was like, wait a minute, his head was nowhere near intact, but he was just talking about like, so long as a cell is around. So basically, as long as a part of his body is still intact, he can regenerate. So
And because, like, he has Piccolo's cells within him.
yeah, which they explain like way too often for everyone to not pay attention to.
And it gets to the point like, hey, remember the fact that he's made of cells from Piccolo as well?
Now, here's the thing. This is a great thing too that they kind of mention. I think it goes over a lot of people's heads, but in combination with Piccolo's regenerative cells, what makes him deadly is that when he heals, when he does regenerate, he becomes stronger because of the Saiyan cells. The idea that, the Saiyan, because Vegeta made a whole meal of this during the Frieza saga, when a Saiyan is brought, yeah.
I think when he's brought back from the edge of death, they become stronger.
So that coupled with, so again, every time, if he can just constantly regenerate himself, like then never a need for a sensu bean, he can just regenerate,
Since Cell could become basically infinitely stronger the more he gets destroyed.
Exactly. Pretty much like Doomsday from Superman.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, he is like the amalgamation of almost every villain so far in Dragon Ball.
Yep. Now, some people, I know Code Geass anime fan, he's not here right now, but he's been very fervently, he loves Frieza, and Frieza he kind of views as like the Joker of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I mean, look, you can make an argument for that. Frieza was pretty terrifying, and he does, he factors in, but, it's, I'm just saying, in terms of like varying the foes, if Frieza is assumedly Joker, you can make the argument that Cell or Boo, but I would say maybe Cell a little bit more. Cell's got a bit of Bane in there in terms of like the big gimmicky kind of like like the smart foe who is seemingly very unbeatable.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Okay, let's see. So the point being, despite all this, Goku's given as always the pretty much defeated Cell, but then Cell comes back. I love that Vegeta's like, quick, toss him a senzu bean. The whole thing's over with. And Vegeta's saying, no, don't do that. And it's like Vegeta honors Goku's Saiyan pride. He's willing to die in the ring. You give him that. And then the moment Vegeta says that, gives Kakarot a compliment.
Goku says like the thing that shocks everyone. I give up.
Which this was a huge moment. Just the idea, like, oh my god, Goku just he surrendered. What?
Yeah,
He would never do. What is happening? And that poor Goku has an ace up his sleeve. He knows, like, look, he could potentially beat. There's a chance he could beat Cell, maybe. I mean, had he kept. See, Goku likes, to fight with honor. Like in theory, Goku, he could have just kept blasting Cell until there was nothing left after he destroyed his top half. Had anyone remembered, the whole regenerative thing. But even if they did know that, it's a question if Goku would. It's not right.
Yep.
Anyway, so he tantalizes Cell by saying, "There's somebody here who's stronger than me who can beat you." And Cell's intrigued, and we reveal it's Gohan. Everyone is it's shock after shock, Jacob.
Yeah. Oh.
It's basically the big passing of the torch moment where it's like he's letting Gohan take Cell down, but there's one problem.
Yeah.
Goku knows that Gohan has the untapped, hidden Saiyan potential that can win. They can absolutely. That's what Goku's bet on. He knows that he's seen it up close. He knows that Gohan can absolutely do this, and he's right. However, as Piccolo points out in one of his best scenes in Dragon Ball Z,
like after he's being beat up, you mean, right?
Gohan's being beaten to a pulp.
Like, and this is what I was referring to when I said it featured some of the best voice acting in the series. Piccolo basically tears into Goku. He's like, he's not out there wondering. He's not out there thinking about fighting. He's out there wondering why his father's letting him die.
It's a great moment.
And when that basically makes Goku realize, like, oh my god.
So basically, Goku's miscalculation here, Piccolo spells out, is that Gohan doesn't like fighting like you do, Goku. Gohan, that happens as a survival instinct in protecting people from death, from dying, And in the translation of things here, now mind you, this is where Toriyama gets in the whole thing where the anime made Goku too heroic for his taste, where this gets the root of it, where the manga, as we kind of represent here with this bit, you know, Goku again, he fought for fun. He fought for like the challenge. Where Gohan is fighting to protect all the people he loved. Gohan's essentially more heroic. I mean, in different ways, but Gohan, you could argue, is maybe a little more heroic or hero leaning than Goku is. After all, Goku doesn't get the cool costume and helmet. No, but seriously, there's the idea that Gohan has more of like heroic instincts, and Goku just is more of like he's kind of the savant of fighting. One could argue,
Yep.
you know, carefree. He's not really necessarily fighting for causes, at least in the manga, primarily. But he's just more of like self improvement. Like he lives in loves fighting, and Gohan does not share that interest, which means it'll be really hard to bring that out. And Piccolo's just point all the Goku, you mean well right now, but think about what you're doing to this poor kid. You're torturing him until like he shares your interest. So again, Goku feels terrible, but it's like, oh no, this is like so he desperate. So Gohan is like desperately warning. Yep.
And honestly, it's not helping the fact that Goku gave Cell a Senzu bean.
Yep, which seems I love all the shocks. All like again, like, hey, Krillin, give me a sense of it. Oh, sure thing, Goku. Here you go. Every time this happens, every time Goku, there should be a rule in Dragon Ball where it's like, if Goku asks for a sensu bean personally, do not give it to him. Don't give it to him because he's gonna give it to Piccolo. He's gonna give it to Sal.
Yep.
No, but it all worked out for the best. He gave it to Piccolo, and we became besties, so it all worked out.
Yep.
Anyway, tosses the sensu bean in the cell. Cell's powered up, and like Gohan is like desperately warning Cell, okay, look, don't push me because I don't want to kill you. In the end, like Gohan, he wavers on the whole life and death issues of it all. He doesn't want to kill people for sport. He's a good little boy.
Yep. But he's like he doesn't want to, but after he sees what happens about to happen, things are about to go very downhill.
So Cell gets the idea to push him by hurting his friends. So before things go further, 16. The defender of again, he's not doing this just because of Gohan, but there is a kinship between 16 and Gohan, in that they both have a similar philosophy, where they're very peaceful by nature, but do have like a fighter in them for when the moment's right. And 16, he wants to defend like the peace of the earth and everything, and the animals. He grabs Cell, with all his strength. He attempts to blow himself up and kill Cell once and for all, like destroy all the cells in one big blast, which would have been the end of Cell. One problem.
Yep. He can regenerate.
No, Jacob. What's six? No.
Oh, 16. Only 16. There isn't because Bulma took out the bomb.
Yeah, that's because he actually, again, if he destroys every part of Cell all in one blast, Cell actually would die because he wouldn't be able to regenerate, which this possibly could have done.
Yep.
But yeah, no bomb, no dice, and then he basically in an instant he decapitates 16 with like one blow, like all of his body goes to pieces. Oh boy!
And that is what begins Gohan's descent.
Well, before that, though, we have a bunch of creepy Cell Juniors who are nightmare fuel.
You have little blue cells.
Yep.
Who are stronger than even the rest of the other people.
Yeah, they're as strong as Cell, so it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So, and that basically pushes Gohan over the edge.
Well, yeah. So Hercule, in his one hero moment, he helps 16 out. Like 16 begs him, like, you are the champion. You're the world martial arts champion, right? Toss me over to that boy over there. And Hercule, to his credit, man, he does it. He knows it's the right thing to do, and Hercule fundamentally is a good person. He's just he's let fame go to his head.
But at this point he chooses to be heroic and throws the head over to Gohan.
It kind of reminds me of remember God, I'm trying to remember what his parody name was. Do you remember the parody of Schwarzenegger from Hey? Oh, right. I'm sorry. there's an episode of Hey Arnold where basically there's like a parody of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and like Eugene idolizes this actor, and it was like something like it was something that was like a parody of the Terminator. It was like the adapter or something. I don't know. It was something. It wasn't the adapter. I'm blanking on what it was, but anyway, he hero worshipped this actor who was like an action star, and then he really let him. He saw him have a temper tantrum on set, and Eugene lost all faith. And basically, the actor had to step up in a big way that really earned points back, and it was really sweet.
Abdicator.
Abdicator. That's it.
All right.
Anyways, the Abdicator. He Yeah, it's the point being that kind of moment. There's kind of like the fake hero actually living up to it for a moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so Hercule tosses 16's head, and this is so as we've seen, Goku he brought out Gohan's potential by giving him encouragement instead of like denouncing him for failure like Vegeta would. So 16 gives him words of encouragement for like hey you can fight to the max when it's defending the innocent people can't defend themselves, and Cell does not want to abide any nice ways of getting him to press his bounds, so he kills 16 very brutally by stepping on his head. It's a bloody mess. It's terrifying.
And there is a little bit of blood there.
Yeah, and then like the little chip, like the little light going out on like the chip, and just that sets Gohan off. Gohan turns into Super Saiyan 2.
And basically, at this point, he loses all semblance of the nice little boy he once was. Gohan becomes, even as Cell describes, a monster.
It's incredible, though, isn't it? And I love that even Vegeta is like he's intimidated. Like this kid surpassed me in every way. Oh, what have I done with my life?
Yep, it's like, and even like, basically, he is able to one shot the mini cells.
Yeah.
one by just by like hitting them once, he's able to one shot them.
Yep. So then, so admittedly, the manga kind of does this and I guess Kai as well. So the manga and Kai does this just a little better than the main version, but Cell. So basically, Gohan hits maybe once or twice. I want to say in the manga, he hits Cell like once in the gut at full strength, and then he throws up 18. Which I love that, and I do wish that kind of made into like the main cut of just like one hit, just did it.
Yeah,
So
basically, it just shows like he's so strong he can make Cell throw someone up.
yep. So that was just great. Give him a gut shot that hard that the spat out 18. So then he turns into semi-perfect Cell, and he's just in shock. And Gohan is like beating this guy and senseless. And again, but even Gohan, he's giving into it. I think he's equating it more to justice, but by the same token, though, again, it is still Saiyan pride crossed with that thirst for justice.
And basically the same bloodlust as well.
Yeah.
It's like basically he's like he has the opportunity to defeat Cell. Everyone's like, "Do it, Gohan!" He's like, "No, let him regenerate.
He's gonna suffer."
Like I want him to suffer. Basically, that's what Cell meant when he said when he called Gohan a monster.
Yep.
Like because he was willing to go to extreme lengths, even wanting to. Yeah.
And did the Bushido Code. He warned them beforehand, like, "Don't make me kill you."
Yeah.
So,
and so Goku, and so no, Cell basically goes berserk.
Yeah, he pulls a Frieza here, only like more of like kind of Frieza crossed with the Nutty Professor. He blows up into a giant, he puffs up into a giant beach ball of a megaton bomb.
And he's threatened he would take the entire planet with him.
Yes, and there's nothing, can't punch him or anything. There's no way to stop it, and Gohan just feels like he feels terrible. He's doomed. He's doomed the planet. They're all goners, and this is where we have the big moment.
Goku,
very biblical, probably the most biblical moment in all of Dragon Ball, by the way.
And so what Goku does, he tries to think of anything that he can do. Well, then what he does, he instant transmits over to Cell in front of Gohan to like tell everyone I said goodbye. I love you, son. And then transmits himself and Cell to King Kai's planet.
I think there was also like I forget which version is it. Maybe you had it. I don't know if you and I had the same version or not. I think maybe we did, or I'm just misremembering it because I also saw like somebody talk about it recently. And then there's the Kakarot games. I can't remember which versions. Which there's also like a tell your mother I'm sorry, and
I think I saw that too.
yeah,
Tell your mother I love her or something like that.
yeah, tell her I love her and I'm sorry. I couldn't keep my promise or something.
Something like that, yeah.
I do love the gag, by the way, that Goku and this is in the Kakarot game too. I love that before the Cell games, like promise me Gohan won't fight in the Cell games, which makes no sense at all. I just love that he just like he doesn't promise her, but he gotta go. He flies off. Somebody else, Goku, he's gonna fight. Oh no!
Yeah.
Of course, Chi Chi's watching this whole fight. She's freaking out, seeing like Gohan and it should be pummeled.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah.
And,
But
and
yeah,
so
Jacob, you're right. So Goku's big sacrificial moment, though, he used the instant transmission to teleport Cell off the planet before he blows. And where does he go?
King Kai's planet.
The reaction on King Kai's face, just
Could they have gotten out of there before? Or
no. Well, I I don't know if there's a limit to how many people Goku can do the instant transmission on. Because he had 3 people, he would have had to do that on, and himself.
yeah,
I mean, in theory, look, I know he can do at least one person. That actually, you know what? Uh, yeah, I think he can do up to 2 people, so because they have to hold on to him. So I don't
plus,
know, maybe
plus he actually needed to make sure Cell was still there.
that too. So I don't know. Still,
Either
yeah, I
way,
don't know. The jury's out, man. I don't know.
but either way, Cell finally blows up
Yep,
and takes King Kai, Bubbles, Gregory, and Goku
and his planet and his car.
and his car, yeah, and his house,
Yep, everything.
and Cell is gone.
Yep, and
And
again, in a very biblical way, Goku is dying for the sin of Saiyan pride. He kind of showed the son, as a favor to the father. Like the son becomes the father, kind of a moment.
it's like you're the man of the house now, Gohan.
Yep. It's a sad. Again, it's a very as a way for Goku to die though. It's pretty top tier. It's like him saving everyone with a smile on his face. Not a serious thing. It's just like, well, nothing else to do, and he kind of takes away Vegeta's like his way of getting his closure for like surpassing Goku and everything. It's like it's the way Goku would end things.
Basically says like, "How dare you, Kakarot?"
Yeah.
Basically saying like, "My whole purpose was to surpass you."
Well, we'll get there, but
I know.
yeah.
But yeah. So
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 Cell
so
unexpectedly is alive.
it's like I went to college.
I went to college.
But yeah, I mean that's where that scene in that video is from, where he explains how he returned, because when the self destruct didn't get rid of all of his cells, so he was able to regenerate back into his full form. And apparently his cells remembered what his perfect form was like, so that's why he was able to return in his perfect form.
Then again, the Saiyan cells probably helped out with that a
Yeah.
lot. So
And apparently, I love how it doesn't even explain how he learned instant transmission. He just like he said, somehow I learned it while I was with your father. Right?
yeah, I mean, pretty much. But I mean, look, I think he was able having it performed on him allowed him to learn it. That's what I really think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of implied. So
Plus, again, if he inherited Goku's cells, Goku was a great mimic. So I think that's all he needed.
yeah, you're right.
So let's see. So instantly, so Cell is back, and before like the dust emerges, he kills Trunks like instantly, which Vegeta is just he's shocked by, and he's furious over.
I mean, at that point, it's kind of surprising that Vegeta would even go ballistic over that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, man, that's the thing though. He was like in a moment, he's just so guilty. He's already lost. He lost Goku, which was like kind of his purpose. And I think honestly, I think that's what gave him the clarity right there. Is the fact that Goku was kind of gone,
And
and
then,
now Trunks is kind of all he has left as far as like his connection to like the Saiyan race and like himself, and like that's gone too. All because it's like Cell's taken everything away, took Goku away from him, took Trunks away from him, and it's just kind of brought it all back that he's kind of guilt ridden over being a bad father, a little bit.
Like it's like basically that's my rival and that's my son.
Yep.
It's like, and so he basically goes ballistic on Cell. Doesn't do much. Doesn't ultimately do much.
Yeah, but again, it's just Vegeta, he's almost killed, and Gohan saves Vegeta at the cost of his arm, which is a great idea because it parallels future Trunks. Sorry, the history of Trunks special where future Gohan lost an arm, so we kind of symbolically we've taken the arm away from him.
But the thing is, that doesn't really detract from Gohan's power.
No, he's initially thinking it's all over, but then Goku's given him the ultimate pep talk for the father-son Kamehameha wave, which is done with one arm, which Goku's done before. Which again, that's what I love with the whole closing loop on Dragon Ball here. If this is an ending, this brings us back to Demon King Piccolo. He beat him with the one-arm Kamehameha wave, kind of.
Where he launched himself through Piccolo.
Yeah, I still got one arm, which is basically
Yep.
So this leads to the dueling blast.
It's like Piccolo, Goku and Gohan fire up their power just as Cell does.
Yeah.
And it's basically a back and forth beam battle.
Yeah, it's basically like Goku's not really. He's symbolic. He's like kind of gesturing the Kamehameha wave with him. He's guiding him through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It still makes for a striking image, which is why we're showing it in the thumbnail here.
Oh, for sure. And I love like the little bits too, because this thing dragged on for a bit, but it was like a big moment, like seeing like everyone just show up and kind of trying to help Gohan as much as they could. Like Vegeta throws like one last little blast to kind of help push it over the edge. It was good.
And basically, Cell's just giving it everything he has.
Yep, not enough, and Cell gets killed in every cell of his body, just eviscerated in the Kamehameha wave.
Well, wait, because Vegeta distracted him long enough for Gohan to get the upper hand.
That's the blast. That's it.
Yep, basically Vegeta came back after fleeing. After basically the others tried to stop him but failed. But then Vegeta managed to distract him long enough for Gohan to amp up the power.
Oh yeah.
And it even shows like the actual cells that form him disintegrating, basically showing that Cell can never return.
I love like Cell's last words, but I'm perfect.
And his death is actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Like he's literally being eradicated from. Technically, he's been eradicated. He gets eradicated in this series like 3 times.
Yes.
Like his little baby form.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one.
And then coming up.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, his death was epic.
Yep. So end of the day,
what was it like in the manga?
I mean, it's pretty accurate. I think they kind of it was a lot, a little less drawn out, but pretty much the same thing happens.
I mean, like I'm talking about like the art. Like, what was the art like in that one?
No, I'm saying it's like they translate pretty good. Like you see, like the whole like the bug eye is just kind of like going like separating into the pieces and like kind of like yeah.
I mean, because obviously you've read pretty much all of the both Dragon Ball and Z manga, so I just wanted to know.
Well, yeah, that's what it looks pretty accurate.
No, I meant just like I was just asking like it's separated from this. Like, was it actually like never mind. But yeah, so Cell is finally gone.
Yep, and Mr. Satan gets all the credit. Thanks, Satan.
It's Satine, actually.
Right.
Or it's Hercule, actually. But anyway, but it is kind of interesting how here like Gohan, like Chi-Chi's like, Gohan should be the one getting the credit. Like she really wanted Gohan to be the one getting all the credit here.
Yeah, he also would have gotten all the royalties. I'm sure she would want that too.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not because of the royalties, but because of like how much work he put into it.
No, that's true. I mean, she wanted Gohan to get the win, but
Yeah, but she knows the truth.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm saying it's ridiculous how we got the credit though. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, like it's amazing that anybody actually believes it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Vegeta is having an existential crisis. With Kakarot gone, what's left for him? And the answer kind of is, it's fatherhood. It's raising baby Trunks. That's pretty much all he's got.
And he's like, "I'll never fight again." Like basically, it's talking about his warrior spirit is gone. I'll never fight again.
Yeah. Like, there'll never be another worthy opponent for him to go up against.
Then, like, who else is worthy to fight the Prince of All Saiyans?
That's the thing. I mean, Gohan only fights like to preserve peace, and Vegeta's kind of like, what's the point?
And in a way, he actually does respect Gohan as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had that big moment too, where initially, so again, at the cost of Gohan's arm, which kind of screwed everyone up because Vegeta's can act emotionally for the first time versus like at a pride. He said, "I'm sorry, Gohan." He apologized. That showed you, oh man, we are so screwed right now.
Yep, even Vegeta knew how serious it was.
Yep. So yeah, there is some respect there. At least for I think Vegeta respects teen, like I guess, well, he's 11 years old. I guess he expects the 11-year-old Gohan. But later versions, not so
Well,
much.
I don't think he's supposed to be 18 here. I think that was just something they did for memories of Gohan because he's like supposed to be in high school. Because and 7 years later he'd be 18.
Well, that's the thing. So I mean, it's like he's 11. Well, yeah, he's 11 here.
I mean, I don't think that was. I think that was fixed later in Kai though, or at least they
Well,
didn't mention his age explicitly. In
okay, what are you saying with his age?
what I'm saying is like I think the age was something that they did in the dub, and
Oh,
it was like they didn't think it through kind of thing.
okay,
Because 7 years because we got 7 years past, he'd be an 18-year-old going to high school for the first time.
right.
So I think they messed up a little bit there.
Eh?
I'm just saying. I think that's what I read.
Okay, well, anyway, the point being, like,
Yeah.
Teen Gohan or whatever you want to call him, like the Gohan who is not the high school teen. Yeah, this Gohan. I think Vegeta absolutely respects the later version, not so much.
Yeah.
At least it's a very begrudging respect, if anything. Okay, so we get the Dragon Balls. We make our wish. We revive all of Cell's victims.
And the important thing is this time they get 2 wishes due to Dende's modifications.
Yes, I gotta admit, sometimes they backtracked on the wish thing, but yeah, it is essentially two wishes for the time being.
It's like and they tried to wish Goku back.
They ask, like, we really want him back. How much you want, it doesn't matter, Yamcha.
It can't be done.
However, they realize, wait a minute, we could all go to New Namek and have the Mechian Guardian, use Purunga to revive Goku. Which I was, as a kid, I was like, yeah, they could do that. That doesn't break any rules. But then Goku says, look, guys, I've been kind of responsible for all the bad stuff's been happening lately. So I think I'm done. I think I'm good. But I'm happy here. It's me and King Kai. We're hanging out. We're okay.
And the thing is, like, technically, Dr. Gero fulfilled his ultimate goal.
Yeah,
He ended up killing Goku.
yeah,
He did the one thing that other villains technically couldn't do.
yep.
Like, and the thing is, Goku basically sees himself as a danger magnet. Like, the Saiyans sent me here to destroy this planet. Like, even like, I've been kind of unintentionally doing it for a long time now.
Which is a great observation. I love it, like Goku with like the wisdom there on that.
He's basically saying as long as he's there, like people are gonna try and destroy it.
Yeah, kind of the Batman logic.
Kind of, yeah. So he decides to stay in the other world and stay, well, dead.
Yeah, which again, as far as an ending for Goku goes, it's a great kind of like closure to like we have like obviously the actual sacrificial act, and then we have like the reflection on like this is, and again, I like that it's Toriyama addressing like, okay, there is a way to bring him back, like is like just to put it out there that he could be brought back, but he chooses not to come back, which is even stronger.
And of course, everybody's reactions to his death, even especially Chi Chi, just breaks down sobbing.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking seeing Chi Chi being so upset at his death.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think so?
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, it just didn't sound like you were too sure about it.
No, I mean, she's upset about Goku dying.
Like I said I sounded heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, he couldn't fulfill the promise that come back alive and stop Gohan from fighting. He didn't promise that latter part technically, but the first part, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Also, I mean, you got to remember, it's even more heartbreaking when you realize again this is more of a retroactive thing. At the time, I don't think Toriyama planned it, but again, with the whole 7 years later thing, she's with child, little baby Goten.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, but does he even know that at that point, or?
Well, that's the thing. Toriyama doesn't know that. Goku does not know that either. But it's just the idea that it's kind of the sadness for Chi-Chi could know that. It's unclear.
It's like,
But
I was
again,
like,
that'd be a retroactive thing if she did know.
it's like the Red Tui thing. Like, how did you not know? I made victim of your imagination. You did not know. How could I?
I have a son.
Exactly.
God, I love how Brad Garrett delivered that line so much.
It's like, he's your son? I have a son?
How do you not know I'm a figment of imagination? You don't know. How do I know?
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, but it's a heartfelt goodbye, and they still got one wish left. The dragon's always so irritated.
He's like, make your wish now.
I really would like. This is my headcanon. It doesn't track because he's always been like this, but it does make me think though. Maybe he's impatient because the last time I lingered after a wish, Demon King Piccolo killed me, so I don't like being out more than I have to be.
Well, he was impatient during the first time we saw him too. Before he was before the underwear wish.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another reason why.
Dragon's just cranky.
Like maybe it's like state your. I wish you weren't so cranky all the time. I wonder if anybody could ever make that wish.
God.
Or I wish you'd stop rushing us.
I know one thing. Dragon Ball Super made a mockery of the dragon. I'm going to say that.
What was that?
Dragon Ball Super did ultimately make a mockery of like how the mystique of the dragon.
House.
I mean, it's like a whole thing where like there's this hilarious. Okay, let me be clear. It is hilarious.
I mean, outside of the wishing for like plastic surgery or whatever.
Aside from that's superhero, but Dragon Ball Super, there is a there's this episode. It's really funny. I want to be very clear. I don't have a problem with it in terms of being bad, but it's basically King Kai. He's still dead. And he's just like he's begging Goku. Goku, can you please wish me back to life already? And it's the idea. Oh, I'm sorry, King Kai. We always get so busy and so wrapped up in so many other things. And it's basically this gag where like they goes, okay, look, I promise we're gonna wish you back this time, King Kai. And everything just keeps getting in the way. Like at this point, I think it's like 3 wishes, and it's like this thing of like Gohan interrupts the wish.
Oh no!
It's like Pan's sick and like like a head like an average cold kind of thing. Probably not like it's like we wish Pan felt all better.
And then
Just the idea that I was like over every little thing, like these 3 wishes get used up and King Kai's still dead, and just you see King Kai's reaction. Just the
poor King Kai.
Speaking of, okay, so before we get to that, so we use the wish. Krillin uses it ultimately to score some points with 18, where he, we see some sparks fly, where he tries to wish for her humanity back, but that's a no-go. It's beyond the dragon's power.
So he wishes for their bombs to be removed.
Yeah. So he's thinking like 17, 18, they'll, he wants her to be happy, so she's got like her, companion. Then she's been watching and wait here, and she says like, "Hey,
he's not my partner. He's my twin brother.
You idiot!"
He's like, and then Gohan's like, you have a crush on her. He's like, way to go, Captain Smooth.
The episode Krillin's all ticked off at Gohan right now, despite him saving everyone. But Yamcha's saying, "Krillin, this is great. You're in, man. You're in like Flint." And
Oh,
so then Yamcha's giving words of encouragement. Ultimately, Yamcha's right that like this is good for you. Eventually she'll come around. She cares. She told you that for a reason.
it's like, and he like adds some of his like the master of love or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, aren't you single right now?
Yep.
Like he's single right now. The only girl that stayed by Yamcha's side the entire time is Poir.
But the jury's out if Poir's female or not.
I think Poir is.
I've assumed female, but I could be wrong. Well, you're probably. I'd like to think you're right. You probably are.
I mean, I don't think it's ever really confirmed, but so who knows?
All right. So we have the epilogue with future Trunks. This is
Apparently,
what
apparently,
really brings it full circle.
apparently Poir is male. I just figured it out.
So there you go.
So never mind. He doesn't even have Poir.
Yep.
But as you were saying,
So we have the epilogue with future Trunks, which is kind of full circle to the history of Trunks movie and everything. TV special where future Trunks goes back, and now with the added strength, I mean the guy can go Super Saiyan 2 if he wants. He easily he dispatched. We see the really evil version of the androids, like really evil, like killing people left and right. Like this poor old guy was about to get shot by 17, and Trunks saves him, and he destroys the androids. Like again, it's so heady because we've just established, like, oh, Krillin likes it. As a kid, it didn't really the time travel confused me as a kid when I watched it for the first time, and I realized, like, oh wait, okay, so this is the different, like it took me a little while before I realized it, but like, okay, it's a different 18, this is the 18 that killed Krillin.
yep.
So instantly, Trunks dispatches with them like a blast from his hand, and then he just calls out Cell, knowing exactly what's going to happen. It's like just seeing it so cathartic,
And Cell's just like, huh?
seeing him take out Cell with ease, the imperfect Cell,
Yeah,
and saving his future.
which is adorable.
Yeah,
Well, not adorable, but nice.
yeah, that's there you
Like,
go.
well, his reunion with Bulma is adorable though.
Yeah, and she initially is like before the Cell shows up. Oh, you have a girlfriend, don't you, Trunks?
And then it's like, and then she realizes he's
I
serious.
love the serious moment. There's is like there's the look on his face, and she flees, and just seeing Trunks after everything he's been put through, and just the fact that everything, like, just seeing Trunks like get his moment then, and the fact that his father ultimately gave him the tools to be able to save his world. It's a really nice story. It's a really nice button for Trunks.
Yep.
You know,
And so and then he basically kills this version of Cell, basically closing the time loop
honoring his mentor and Gohan and his father and everyone.
and allowing and basically stopping Cell from terrorizing the time stream ever again.
Yep. Meanwhile, our setup for the next arc is we have Goku and King Kai. They try building a house in like this tree that is a fillery kind of thing, like the tree around Snake Way, and doesn't go well. And just the
Goku
end. Just
Goku knocks it down.
to be fair, it was a very shoddy thing. Wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this poor King Kai's lost so much, and he says the King Kai's ultimate Goku's punching bag, and it's just kind of sad.
It is kind of weird though that like the wish was to bring everybody back killed by Cell, and technically it doesn't bring them back. Doesn't bring like King Kai, Gregory, and Bubbles back.
That's actually a really good point. I mean, the suggestion is maybe King Kai's died before, but who would have brought him back? That's the question.
Or maybe it's beyond the dragon's power.
You know what? That's probably it because he's another worldly. Oh, wait, you know what? No, I know what it is, Jacob. It's anyone who's killed on Earth. Anyone who's killed on Earth by
Oh,
so that's why.
all right, that makes sense.
That was what they use Earth in the wording.
That makes sense.
So even if they wanted to, I mean, honestly, no, it still wouldn't have worked. I was gonna say no, the King Kai thing tracks. I'm saying with Goku, for a moment I thought, but he has been revived before with the Raditz wish. So
Yeah, you're right. You make sense.
yeah. Anywho, the point being, is love that poor King Kai's lost so much, and Goku's just trying to be the optimist here, saying, "Let's go on a road trip, King Kai. Let's explore other world. Come on." So basically, they're going back to the King Yama's check-in station, presumably, and then beyond that, we're going to see what they get into next in the next arc. And I gotta be honest, it's more of my favorite filler stuff. I do like what we do with that coming up. So you're in for a treat.
Yep. But 7 years pass, and then but basically that's where the saga ends, right, Dragon?
That's pretty much it. Like we don't really. Honestly, it's just kind of like up to better horizons with Goku and King Kai, and then we're gonna see what happens 7 years later.
Yep. So Dragon, while all the people were busy fighting, I managed to find one of the Dragon Balls.
Oh, you did. Why is it all slimy?
I don't ask.
Oh.
And I need to go wash my hands.
Yep, you should probably try some Purell too. But yeah.
All right. So why don't we? So Dragon, any closing thoughts on the Cell Saga?
I mean, man, it's look a little repetitive with the recap. Well, just with the exposition of like, okay, here's like Cell going over his origin for the umpteenth time, or somebody talking about all the horror Cell's done. But overall, though, man, this is still like had Dragon. Look, I'm nostalgically, I love the era that we're about to get into in Dragon Ball Z. That was like fully. That's essentially when I got caught up on Dragon Ball Z, roughly. With the Toonami airing. So I'm looking for. I have a lot of fondness for where we go from here. So I wasn't really part. Like it was. I can't say I was like truly in the thick of like Dragon Ball Z, like around the Android and the Cell. So I was just kind of playing catch up, just kind of stumbling upon, having a great time with it. But it was a looking back on it though, it's very tight knit storytelling. It does read as a really good ending for Dragon Ball Z. I'm glad it isn't the ending, but it is like you could absolutely have like hung your hat on it and just said, that's you could like rode off into the sunset on an ending like this, and just kind of everything we did here. It brings it back to Dragon Ball. I mean, the Cell Saga is kind of, well, for lack of a better word, kind of perfect in terms of from a storytelling perspective in how you would wrap up that story and just kind of put it in. And of course, the thing with Dragon Ball is that technically Dragon Ball, from what I understand, Dragon Ball can like never end because of that machine getting turned off. It's the Japanese economy is just going to go in the toilet if it ever turns off. But as far as like an ending to the original story goes, I can absolutely see why Toriyama says, you know what, this is the best I got. Anything from here is like icing on top, but this is the perfect meal. This is everything else is dessert. This is the meal. This is the satisfaction. This is but overall it's a really straight narrative getting there. It's we have it goes from the Saiyan saga to kind of like everything we do to repair the damage from the Saiyan saga to what's awaiting us when we come back. And this is it's kind of in a sense it's kind of 3x like that, and it's a really well executed kind of finale in that. But just taking it on its own, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's like, how do we beat this really coolly conceived bad guy who is basically Frieza without all the waiting?
Yep, exactly.
Love it. Sci-fi. It's neat. You got robots. You have like biomechanical androids. It's awesome.
It is pretty. It is like basically Toriyama pulling all the stops with this one.
Yeah.
So, but that's, as you may have guessed, it's not the end of Dragon Ball.
No.
So, the monstrous Cell has been defeated, this time for good. The price of victory, Goku. With our hero choosing to stay in Otherworld, life goes on. And in the blink of an eye, 7 years pass. And Gohan is getting ready for a new challenge. High school. But who is this great Saiyaman? Who's the girl trying to uncover his identity? And what villain is lurking in the shadows, ready to unleash unspeakable evil on the now peaceful world? Find out next time in the Babidi Saga on Journey into Dragon Ball Z.